There should be a game where the
Amazing.
players tell the DM when they're leveling up.
What was that?
I said there should be a game where the players tell the DM that they're leveling up, aka like Dragon Ball Z power level. Power level thing.
You know,
Yeah,
honestly, I would
level
just
up now.
you could level up as much as you want, and I would just so overcompensate.
Exactly.
I'd be like, fine, be that way.
Oh, ancient dragons.
Yep.
Oh,
More
crazy.
ancient dragons. Here we go.
Sick.
This is
Yeah,
what
one
you
of each
wanted.
color. It's all at the same time. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
And Tiamat.
good. And Tiamat. Holy crap.
All
And we're
together
live, by the
now.
way.
Huzzah.
Together collectively. Gentlemen, if we are
Hello.
live, then I'm gonna need all the fucking around to stop.
Ugh.
Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up.
More what? What did you say? What did you say?
To them, not you.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Well, in that case.
Say.
We're gonna do things a little differently this time, just because there's a natural place for us to recap, and we're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
So, those of you on the Inquisition team who have most recently had the revelation of there being some incubate or infant god amongst the city of Wiltir, is there anything you would like to do to finish off your day after that groundbreaking revelation? Or would you like to just continue onward?
Think we're good.
I'm good. I think we're good. Sounds like a good deal. When you take that deal, I
guess,
take that deal. It's a damn good deal.
No, I'll address the crowd that's been waiting outside, saying, granted, it's been less than the 2 hours we gave them. I
It
say
is.
the situation's been taken care of. Paladin are no longer here. Church has been cleansed.
They all look to one another, like kind of confused. Well, that's it.
Save your anger. Fight is coming. You'll need it.
There's a mix in the crowd. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check with advantage, given the clout and authority you've shown previously.
What is going on? Should select my thing first. Something let me roll with advantage. There it goes. 16's not bad.
16 is not bad. There are a couple stragglers and people who question the truthfulness of it. They're still a little bloodthirsty, but
Oh, I also obviously have a different tattoo that's not sewed up anymore, so
yeah.
I don't know what that's appearing to
But
look like.
given their man, I must be in a mood. Given their peasantness,
Oh, so you think you're better than us? Is that what you're saying?
well, I mean, you are. You people. You've essentially shown that already. But they take it at face value, and they're not too concerned with like the state of your body or the cut that you left that isn't there anymore. They don't even really take in those details. But they do, after some help from your friends and some varying degrees of placation, they eventually disperse with your good words. Do you wish to direct them in any sort of way before as they're leaving, or just send them on their way?
What time of day is it?
I'd say about now it's like just about noon.
Damn, all that before noon. Shit.
Yeah, no, you guys came here in the early morning.
Dumb.
If certain party members are up for it, I'll have training continue with Kaz and Vulcan, unless Vulcan's otherwise preoccupied with siege stuff.
I will say, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the flavor of the whole door mechanism and the lock in the door. I wanted to actually see if that could be applied to the city at large, or like the main, bolster the defenses at key doors or entry points.
Now, I will remind you in this case then that the mechanism by which you were studying and viewing on this church, in essence, allowed for a single or a reduced number of people to operate the gate and the locking mechanism. If you think you can apply that in some way that you wish to apply to the city, then I'm all ears.
Yeah, just in case we had. I don't have a good sense of literally the city gates or side entry points. In a siege situation. So I don't know, in by extension, how many staff or recruits or people are there to actually figure out the door switch.
Well, that's a nice segue. Let me actually pull you to. Bro, can you just chill? It's okay. I don't know if you can hear him or not, but.
Hi, Jameson. Who's a good boy?
Boy, but he's whiny when he defends the house. I've been trying to figure out how to hang on.
Legos.
Make this map not look like shit, but I cannot seem to do it. So
Legos.
I'm just gonna pull you here and hope for the best.
Plug and chug.
Hang on.
Opens up StarCraft.
Hang on, I don't know how to upscale this and make it not look like shit. So I'm just gonna have to deal with it.
The gear. It's simple. You just play StarCraft Remastered.
Oh, of course. That's silly of me. Let me do that. And this, the other, I will try to resize it as we go. But let me pull you here.
No vision.
Blind.
Tokens.
Oh, of course there's no vision. And that's how it'll stay. Fuck you.
That's by design.
Where am I?
Can you guys see now?
Zooming out. No.
Negative.
No.
I'm just dark.
Black square.
Darkness, my old friend. Come to speak with you again.
How about
There
now?
it is.
Ooh.
Ah,
Yes,
there we
sir.
go.
Very nice.
Blackfire Reach. Play court.
It's the,
So many buildings.
Clay.
You'll notice the
It's
aspect ratios on the piss, but whatever.
not bad.
Listen, I don't have a lot of time in the day anymore.
Fish bridge.
So this is more what you're looking at. Now, can I? Oh, please.
Oh, okay.
What? You're having a revelation.
Yeah, the river. I was like, oh, okay. I think that's river,
Yes.
right? The blue thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Unless that's the asphalt
Yes,
highway.
that is the blue thing.
That's the
Well
obvious.
done.
Yellow brick road.
Well done. Way to go. You'll recall that some of your entrance to the city was via the river.
Oh, I thought it was just like a.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
They're
I
like,
didn't realize
oh,
it
right,
was
duh.
Well, no, I didn't realize it was like a river proper. I thought it was just like a drainage ditch for sewage.
Yeah, I know. I get a lot of
You
people
guys-
here. It's fine.
You guys came in on a barge by way of trade, and your
Oh, right.
collective knowledge of the people that work from between Fishbridge, Bright Road, and into the Moonheart actually gained you entry into the city, while everyone else came in via airship. Everyone's just nodding their head. Yes, that did happen. Yes.
Airship.
Yes.
Barge.
Definitely.
Barge. All right. Now, I'm going to take you back here for a quick geography lesson while we do this, okay? I shall direct your attention to Hiltir, where you are. Nope, that's the tile. Here, where you are. Look, yonder.
Ah.
Oh.
This is Quiltier. Now, to the south, and not far off, you'll see these roads leading toward the coast and beyond. The river runs parallel to this. Nope, that's shapes. Where's my freehand? That's polygons. Hello, Bueller.
Mhm.
The river runs parallel to this. So when I drag you back, the compass rose. Up is north.
So
South is
the
south.
orientation is correct.
Oh,
On.
thank goodness.
The orientation is correct. Okay, I just want to clear that up before I get 1,000 questions. If there's two suns and if it sets in the north. Okay.
What about low tide?
Well, we'll get there, but there's no direct coast on this map, just the river. The river eventually does run and meet with the coast, and much trade does run from, well, the river itself runs from the Grey Peaks down into Whiltir and eventually down to the coast. Kingsport remains a major center for and hub for trade. However, some do dock in a port down here on the coastline.
Gross.
For a shorter. It's a totally natural thing. Okay.
A different time.
Tons of people do it. Okay. Sounding is freakish. Don't do it. Talking, totally normal. They're the same, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Respect.
Today I learned.
So many dock, gross, on the coast and bring their supplies inland. It was brought to my attention that some of you might be interested in evacuating the populace, so think about that. Now, where was I? For you, Wolkin, there are several gates, one in the low side, one at the Pearl Arch. This scale is huge. I can't really when I ping, it's very, very small.
Yeah, it's tiny.
So it's a big city. Do not take the grid for anything important. It's just meant to be a tile on a big map. But maybe I can play around with a smaller version so it doesn't look so huge. There are several entry points all around the walls. You can see them. There's one here in the Bright Road, two here in the Bright Road, one at the Wolf Crest Gate, 3, it looks like, here. So there are many an entry point to be guarded. However, you know that the brunt of the attack will fall on the Wolf Crest Gate and most likely Brightwood, if that affects your decision at all.
Yeah.
Oh,
A general history check, which I think you're trained in because you're a samurai, right?
Yes.
Would you say that this history, the training you get as a samurai, is skewed in any way toward warfare, or is it just a general, what your history? Is it the art of war? Is it just generic?
I would say it's
history,
probably
or
more
is
general.
Okay.
You cover it like a capstone course, but it's mostly combat.
Okay. Then, if it's more general, just roll a regular history check for me.
oh, wow.
Oh, that could have been so bad.
That's plenty. Your general knowledge of combat tactics, history, and siege would tell you that the primary evacuation points out of the city will be south. Another geography lesson. Look to your south, you see the coast. To the north, out here, lies the oncoming army. The Grey Peaks to the east, not likely to make much of an escape, and to the west is Sky Peak and the unknown horrors of some sort of Doomwaker out there. So you could risk. There is no army coming from the west, but you don't know what lies out there. So if you wish to take the populace through the trees and over the hills, you can. However, there are roads that lead south, and therefore the river becomes a tactical, strategic point to hold. Because you have 2 days and thousands of citizens doing your combat calculus, we'll say. It's not likely that they'll all make it out. So there's a natural wall that runs this place, but as you can see from the map, not all of Whiltir lies within its walls. As the city expanded and grew over time, it spilled over the walls and out toward the river, natural to try and take advantage of the amount of trade. South Whiltir ends up being a little more fertile farmland, Low Side being a little bit of a slum, where Bright Road is quite populous, also tends to be a bit poorer. Fishbridge, a little more industrial, a little more marketing and trade. So you can prioritize which areas you want to reinforce. I'd even go so far to say, as depending on how well you do, you might get more than one district. But for instance, if you want to reinforce the Wolf Crest Gate, I'll allow you to do that in a day, depending on how well you do.
Yep.
And you may be able to get more, you may be able to get less. So up to you. But depending on, again, if you want to make the gates easy to reinforce, depending on the garrison, or if you just want to reinforce them so that they can withstand more, that's up to you. But you'll only really have time to do one of a couple things. So
That makes sense. Yeah, off the top, the Wolf Crest Gate seems the most likely candidate. For the escape route and the concept of ships to evacuate, is there a concept of ships to evacuate?
Well, that's an interesting point. So we'll move forward, and as you guys set about training the populace and the remaining guards for battle, there's a sort of general air of like people are preparing and there's action and movement, but the populace hasn't quite stirred up to the point of like there's something wrong, there's something coming, we should be leaving. Some people take you at your word, go as quickly as they can. Others are a little reluctant to leave their homes with the only threat of impending doom. As the garrisons are gathered and reinforced, a war council is formed with the captains of the guards and the varying factions beneath them, as well as the churches of Helm and remaining forces that you've been training. Their focus does shift toward evacuation for whatever good it'll do. They tell you that ships are they've requisitioned every ship they possibly can in the south, but it won't be enough.
Won't be enough for the entire population.
Absolutely not. Tens of thousands of people live here, lots of buildings, and should the fighting take to the streets, it'll be messy if the walls were to fall. And I'm thinking like Leningrad and all that shit. Stalingrad going house to house down in the shit.
Panzers.
Yeah, right. One sec. Why you no charge?
If only Sergeant Price were here to save us.
Yeah.
Or Captain Price. Captain Price?
Get him next time.
That's a COD reference. God. How do you get that?
Sorry, my one source of truth, the notebook, was running low on battery, and that's not the right time for it. Now, where was I? Yeah, so
You were just leveling us all up to 20.
that's right, Ancient Dragons times 12. I'd forgotten. Thank you for reminding me.
Anytime.
Are there any questions so far?
Where are the ships at?
They're to the south. They can be moved from Kingsport to make landing and bring as many people as possible, but they're across the river and down the way.
Just to confirm, the river's flow goes from northeast to southwest, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. This ain't one of those fancy reverse rivers. Just making sure.
Not here. Not today.
Two suns.
Rivers here flow upwards.
Well, yeah, would you see if you're on the southern hemisphere? No, just kidding.
And does the river accommodate ships, or are you talking about like the ships are way down the coast past this map?
They are way past this map. You're not.
Okay.
This does not encompass the coast. and there'd be
Yeah.
a certain amount of travel from here down to the coastline where evacuation
Okay.
could be. If the river were to be lost, it's without question that whatever forces will likely overrun whoever lingers between here and there.
Got it.
River adjacent question. This is more Daniel asking. Are there any boats that have combat capabilities, or are they all just kind of like passenger ferry boats, fisher boats, barges, that sort of thing?
On the river, it's mostly just ferries and barges. Combat capable is mostly just you can. The only combat effectiveness they would have is whoever you man them with.
Okay.
Small ships can pass through, but would nary have more than 1 or 2 ballista at any given point. Hardly anything that I at the scale I think you're thinking of.
Yeah, no, I'm not thinking of like a man of war or anything, but just like
Oh,
there were like
no, not
guard
okay.
patrol boats already, or stuff like that.
Anything that was a patrol boat would likely just be a personnel flotilla that would just carry guards back and forth, and they would like hop on or off at speed to address problems on their own, or on foot rather. Further questions on that, I will reconvene the parties. The scouting team returns, and you, the Inquisitors, have at least delegated enough effort at this point that training can continue without your oversight. There are enough veterans who have brushed off the rust, or enough people who have enough gumption to follow orders as given, that they are able to, at least for the next day or so, carry on in your absence. And this is where the recap begins, because now you guys can trade information. And for the scouting team, it has been like a month or more since your occurrence even happened. So I will roll. I can roll for recap, or you can elect your people to recap to each other. But you all meet at the Sky Dock. But I do want the scouts to roll one last perception check for me. So that would be River, that would be Trixie, Sylvia, Wolf, Foz if you're feeling frisky, but otherwise, just those.
Oh.
What are we rolling? I'm sorry. What are we doing?
Perception, if you please.
Okay.
Wow. Good rolls.
Damn. You're a perceptive group. Oh my god.
Wow.
Wait.
Holy crap.
I'm just curious, so I'm gonna roll one for Foz.
I saw Trixie's too. Trixie's is damn high as well. But it didn't show up on here. It's a 24 for
Jeez,
Trixie.
30-20 for Foz.
Damn.
Not bad for a
Jeez.
guy with cataracts.
Our eyes were open.
Oh,
Man, this aspect ratio just kills me, man. Okay, going to chat. 20, 28, 25. Wow, Jesus Christ. Hey, Wolf, fuck you, I guess. What did you roll twice?
Oh, did I?
I see a 19 and a 25. I don't know which one is which.
I mean, you could take the first one. I clicked it and it just happened twice.
Okay.
I didn't mean to like roll with advantage.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Cheater!
Cheated
Our
on
intent
purpose.
was to
He's
cheat.
lying.
Dang it, he caught me.
He lies! He lies! What even the hell was I looking at?
yeah, Jim.
Watchful Helm. Currently, Sylvia, you have advantage if you are donning the helm, which I think you were.
Do you
Yeah,
risk
I'll
the hat
roll.
hair?
I will risk the hat hair for the good.
Do we let
Okay,
them
it's
stay
25.
My
back
first
home?
roll
only
was
one
24, Matt. Just a heads
Your
up.
first roll was a 24, and you have advantage, I assume?
Well, no, I didn't realize I didn't roll. I didn't really hear what Ed said. He was like, he saw my first roll.
Yeah.
But it showed up. It's on D&D Beyond. It's 24.
Yeah, it's
My
24 is fine.
thing wasn't rolling.
it's
24
on
is
here now.
fine. Now, it's funny because as you'll recall, Wolf, you rolled a natural 20 last time, and that even brought you to see the giants to begin with.
Yeah.
So as you guys are coming down this mountain, you take stock of what you're seeing, and your focus is largely there. River, you've been mostly focused on spells and things throughout, tracking locations of me. But this time, you're the one who sees something that the scouts do not. As you glance down into the forest, as you're coming down out of the cloud cover and leaving the stormy peaks of the Gray Mountains, the Gray Peaks, everyone's gaze is focused on the frost giants and everything beyond, the armies encroaching, and you just see trees shifting further beyond.
Beyond
The sea.
the Great
Yeah.
Peaks? Like at the base of the Great Peaks, or like what in the north?
It looks like something is moving along the roots of the mountain. And even from this vantage point, and from this distance, and a roll of 28, you can't see what it is, but something large is moving within the tree line, the forest below.
Enhance.
Enhance.
You can't.
Can we fly the ship lower to get a better look?
You can. But as you do,
Yeah, I
and
just put it
when you
like
go
Like a
through,
manual zoom.
manual ergonomic zoom.
Manual enhance.
As you lower yourself down, you can hear the cries and jeers of scouts and other creatures, and you see you see the flashes of spells lifting from the forest. As your ship approaches, you can't get too close, but you do get a good look down below, and you see nothing within the trees, but disturbed earth and shifted. Things have shifted around. Some trees have fallen, some have been pushed aside, but you don't see a source of what the disturbance was.
Aside from there's earth displaced and stuff, I get the idea that something is burrowing?
From this vantage point, you couldn't say. It's you reckon it's not a miracle that you saw it, but clearly it's a blessing from Celestian that directed you to even see this as it was.
I see this
But you're
vague movement of things. Well, I remember that things could be invisible as well, so it could have been something like
you
that.
did see invisible creatures, but to Sylvia's recounting of what those creatures were, they didn't seem to burrow. They moved over land on all fours. But if something were to be burrowing underneath, it's clearly out of eye line.
That is generally how being underground
And
works.
I know this.
I could cast Locate Creature.
Would you not have to know what thine creature were?
I would.
Then I'm
So
afraid
I
that this
won't.
you would know that this spell likely would have no.
I could cast Find the Path to find the path.
And it would tell you know that it would tell you it would just lead you home. A rather esoteric question, given that you do not call a single place your home.
Ooh.
Your divine edict telling you to wander.
Indeed. Okay, well, I say they probably have something big. We should prepare accordingly. For
Arbor knew this place was a little better.
Can
Question.
see.
Blind.
I can't say.
Darkness.
Enjoy your blindness.
Oh,
This one's better.
You're
Matt cast eye bite.
No, this is much better. I prefer this. Thank you.
Matt, where this is
Yes.
happening, how far outside the city is it? It's up more toward the mountains.
Yes. This is up
Okay.
more toward the mountains. As Daniel is exhibiting, you can flip back and forth between the world map and here if you
I've been
wish.
doing that way too much.
Well, I could do it for you, but it's really just a pain in my ass. So,
What more? You want me to like scouts? Was this like enemy scouts like shooting spells and stuff that like
Yeah.
gather?
The people that you
Or-
had seen previously moving through the trees have spotted you because you're a big ass airship
Oh, okay.
and are trying to, in essence, immolate your ship or otherwise
okay.
repel you.
Okay, so we're like under fire.
Yes.
Ah, okay,
Which is-
that changes things. I'm not gonna volunteer to jump out of the ship in that case and track this thing.
Probably for the best. People are wild, bro. Like, what the fuck? God. Okay, so if you guys aren't going to try to do anything crazy, you reunite, and may elect a person to recap. We will start with the scouts. Choose. I'll let you guys choose. Choose someone to recap. It must be unanimous.
We're doomed.
I cannot. I'm brushing my children's teeth, so I am out.
I vote Brit. I'm just
That's-
kidding.
That's pretty unanimous, yeah.
Vote Brandon.
I'll use my veto powers.
Well,
It's Ed.
also,
It's me.
Ed.
I
Okay.
want to say Ed, but
Sure. Let me
Ed,
see.
do you agree?
Yeah, I can. So am I recapping for last session or what we saw?
Recap what you saw. Somebody on the
Okay.
Inquisition team will recap what they did.
Okay, because I have notes from last session.
I
Okay.
know you do.
Okay. Let me pull those up because that was not last session. Yeah.
Inquisition team, while he's those notes up, elect someone to recap from your side of life.
James.
That's one for James.
Based on the opening words that Matt said in this campaign, I was like, oh, I don't think I could recap this one properly.
Wait, what does that mean?
The way that you described what happened last session, I was like, I don't have that. I don't think I know what that means.
Oh, you were rather focused on a door.
True. I vote Samaville. That
I
seems
was thinking
relevant.
Samaville. It was his session.
Fine.
He agrees. All right, Ed, are you ready?
I think so.
You can say
It's
no.
gonna be spotty. Okay.
Do you need more time? I can start with the Inquisition team
He
first.
doesn't know.
Yeah, let's start with the Inquisition team because that was
Very
like
well,
last
Samaville,
session.
go now! Go,
Why would you
go!
do this to me?
I'm doing it to you now! Filled with religious fervor, you can't help but open your mouth and exposit what everything happened to the most minute of details.
So basically, I'm just
Okay.
recapping last session, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it's
recapping
basically
last
last
session.
session.
Well,
But I figured there was a good character reason to do it, so here you are.
Bud goes to unify the Helms Church, and he talks to the head of the church lady. Both Bud and Kaz get a promotion. Bud becomes the Archbishop, and Kaz becomes the Inquisitor.
DM tells us that we get special inspirations for one crazy bullshit moment.
I'll have more on that later.
Bud's old family shop no longer exists. Bud prays to Helm and gets 1 point to use later to... What?
Gets 1 point to use later to get Helm's help. Oh yeah. You have like some type of spoke to him in some way or something. Or reached out to him in some way, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Church of the Thunder is called the Basking Glow. Spires are dim but still lit. We want to break locked doors down, but that's too hard for us. Instead, we threaten to burn down the church to get the doors opened by a monk. He begs us to disperse the riot, and he will lead the party to the paladin. We give orders to the crowd to wait 2 hours before storming the church. The boy who let us in died, but Bud revivifies him. The halls in the church are dark when they should be lit. Warmth in the back of the hall. Bone dust? Question mark. icy feeling on Lathander tattoo, I feel.
But and spear. I guess Koss feels an icy warmth or icy feeling to the spear as well. Okay.
Right.
The Aarakocra Rogel
Rogel? Rogel? Rogel?
I
think it's Rogel.
I think that's right.
is the leader of the Church of Lathander. And there's a little star in the room with the congregation. Star seems to be the essence of Lathander, of what is left of him. I touch the star. I feel an immense burning. Seems to be that prayers keep it alive, but at the cost of the lives of those devout worshipping it. Mars puts his shield into the star.
What the hell is that? Oh.
And the clerics lift into the air, and we all go into the tomb where Lathander is, and it gets teleported outwards once again. When we see the tomb itself, we see a woman weeping over the sarcophagus before vanishing. Weird happenstance. We share a few ideas and thoughts and of what we should do with the star, but what ends up happening is I end up inviting it to come inside of me, and it does so, and I get
I use my point of my special inspiration to do so, I believe.
and I get some type of radiant effect to my attacks thus far, until stated further. And my tattoo changes. I get healed of my fresh wound, and my tattoo changes into a full sun rather than a dawning sun. And then we leave.
That's pretty much it, right? Did I miss something?
Only that, well, you mentioned the promotions. Bud spoke with the leaders of Helm, who said that their forces were already in play, reinforcing the city, and would act accordingly during the oncoming invasion. I think that was honestly it.
Wait, that's what what's the minor god thing that you said?
The minor god thing is that you've determined the essence of the remaining essence of Lathander not to be Lathander himself, but like his remaining deific power, the remaining godhood that he left behind, found shelter here and was sapping the life force of the remaining clergy to stay alive until Koss and Semaville reunited body to soul. The burgeoning star and god are distinctly different from Lathander, which to mean that you think it's like a different entity altogether. I was reading other things, so I don't know if you said this already, but Semaville posits that the oncoming armies of cultists could be here for this in particular.
Right.
So, how long it's been here and how the cults know about it is unknown. But the last thing I will add is that Semaville and possibly Koss think that this entity could be molded into to cover to take on a different shape than Lathander, we'll say. Certainly not the same.
Yeah, we were talking about what we should do with it, whether or not we should kill it or maybe use it ourselves. So that's why.
But you ingested it.
Yeah, but I asked it to come inside of me. I don't like how I said that, but
Yeah, you did.
I asked it to. I invited it.
We all
in.
heard.
How about that? And it did so. And I guess that's our way of using it without killing it. So.
And Bud got a new hand. I'm gonna. throw that in
Everything
there.
you're saying right now, Tyler, is taken as a dick joke.
Okay. I'll take it.
In my hands. Scout team, you take this information on as you will.
Yeah, well, that explains a lot of the weirdness.
The news that there is an infant god or of sorts and a burning star within the city is well, it's something. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I'll reference that in my recap. Referencing the soldiers that we took with us, including Eleanor Brightswallow, had mentioned and even physically almost recoiled or maybe even were relieved upon leaving the city, perhaps because of this godly creature. But our findings were quite eventful, given that they might be coming for what you have described as a minor god or godly thing. We had taken a path. It's been 1 or 2 days, and with River's help of using Find the Path, and I'll reference Klaas's helmet and your eyes with my assistance. We were able to spot quite the moving party on the way here. They included what seemed to be a group of scouts that were clambering through the foliage, moving roughly, clearing the path, trail blazing through the forest, amidst what looked to be potentially 4-legged creatures, sinborn, from what the others tell me. They were moving with ferocity and this unnatural hunger. From what River and Trixie have told me, these demons are demons beyond imagination, seemingly more wrong and corrupt than they had originally been. But nonetheless, there are many of them, thousands in the march, at least 10,000 strong, it seems, and with prisoners alongside that could lead to perhaps 2-3 more because of the possibility of sacrifice. In addition to that, there were large shabbling creatures with chitinous plating that were leading these prisoners, whether they're undead or some mixture of what so, it's a bit unclear. There were also what looked to be bulb-like creatures. If you could enlighten me on what these were, they were hovering over the armies and seemingly keeping watch. Unfortunately, as we were casting over and observing them, they spotted us as well. So, as much as we know about them, they know that we were there as well. As we were moving back, Wolf had actually spotted what looked to be frost giants on the eastern side of Viltir, closer to the mountains, and they seemed to be being driven from the peaks, chased by what looked to be cultists and fire, and causing some distress amongst them. The very smallest of ways of explaining it. The stress and the footfall was triggering avalanches, and we had kind of talked about potentially retaliating with a little bit of alchemist fire, but decided that we needed to come back to base, perhaps reconvene, put a little bit of elbow grease into making an offensive that is large enough to assault the cultists in that way. What the status of those frost giants are unknown. The trip itself took 1 or 2 days, but at most, it's based on travel and the size of the army and the speeds. Looks like we may have 2 days. More or less. Hopefully more. And that's pretty much what I had.
Samoville and Sylvia, take your inspirations each. Very well done.
My inspiration.
Then by all means pass it along.
Inspiration. I shall give it to Wolf. Wolf.
Ooh, thank you.
Because you had spotted the frost giants, and that could lead us to potentially alchemist fire fun. So there you go. Inspiration.
Keep in mind.
Yeah, mine. What?
Keep in mind.
Fuck you. Keep in mind.
Tyler, throw it into the fire. Destroy it.
No.
Very good. Very well done. Great. Both interesting tidings on both sides. There's a silence that kind of overcomes the group just then, as the impact of what is to come and what is currently going on kind of sets in.
What is the come?
Yeah, you're gonna come. You're coming right now.
All right.
River is having a moment. He's just like right there on the deck.
River.
Easily excitable.
Fosradine, your perception of 20 I have not forgotten. And I'm about to bust. And I've not forgotten yours, but your perception, your sight lies beyond the physical, and your cataracts allow you to see little by way of frost giants and things moving beneath the trees. Yours is one where you look beyond as your focus lifts from steering the ship and from interacting with the AI. You take this moment just to expand your mind and then allow it to rest momentarily. And in that moment, you have less of a vision. But as you look at this party, burdened with great purpose and fraught with danger, you think that this, you can't help but feel this notion that it is a vision, but more of a great understanding that this is a tipping point. That whatever happens here is going to write a great moment in history, for good or ill. And even with your sight, you can't see what that eventual end will be. So many possibilities and things. You feel this... You've got this feeling of movement over great distances. Forces move. People move. And they all move from all directions, south, east, west, and north, toward this position. Something coming here. Quiltier is going to be the crux of it. And like I said, this vision doesn't have specific images or anything to show you. It's more of a feeling. And it brings with you certainty beyond assumption. That's all. I missed interacting with your character, so that's happening now. Anyway.
We lie. The threads.
I now open the floor. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'll run through Wiltier. Whatever happens next will write the future. That's it.
Very good. Now I open the floor. Does anybody want to do or say anything upon this reunion before we move on?
I will immediately give back the Watcher's Helm to Kaz and thank him for it. Served me well. Thank you.
He nods his head. You see him holding it, like it's staring into the visor. And he flips it over and dons it immediately. There's something in his bearing that shifts back toward comfort. He stands a little taller, a little straighter. He rolls his shoulders, and it looks like a piece of him has been returned, that he now feels whole. He just nods his head. Hope you found it useful.
Did. Got the information that we did. Wish it was perhaps a little bit more favorable in our side, but can't choose them all.
I wish I could say the same. At his words, Samoville, something of what Sylvia said in her recounting about a sort of like a dark cloud hanging over the city. It doesn't sound like the infant god the infant star that you bore witness to. Despite its kind of amorphous nature, you still brought a little bit of comfort from it. And it itself bore no ill intent toward you or others when you interacted with it. What Sylvia is describing, just sort of this like miasma of darkness hanging over people, sounds like something else. But to you, you don't know what.
Do I feel any different after Star entered?
Well, that sort of depends. You feel physically the same. You look down at your hands and kind of just run your fingers together like this, and they just crackle with a radiant energy, waiting to burst forth. Unclear if that was the gods.
Harry, screen. Oh, you froze there. I couldn't hear you.
I did. I found it.
Yeah, your audio cut out for me.
Yeah, I'll probably have to reset my router someday. What was the last thing you heard?
Sparkle with energy.
Sparkle with a radiant energy. It's unclear if that sort of violent intent is the gods' will or yours, but is empowered you to act accordingly. But I will say, what you feel, how you feel afterward, is entirely up to you. I can't tell you that. So how does Samoville feel after that?
Well, I'd say probably a sense of closure, to some degree. He still wants his revenge, but I guess he'd feel like he wants to use this power to seek revenge. Emboldened. There you go. Reinvigorated with his need for vengeance with this newly found power. So muscles rippling, teeth grinding.
Very good. Very good. Does anybody else have anything?
Is this like readily apparent and like different? Because I feel like I'd be very like observant, or I'd be like, if someone's like grinding their teeth and like flexing it.
Well, I mean, so he just ripples with muscles at all times.
The tattoo's different too.
Yeah, the tattoo is different. Those of you on the scout team, with probably the exception of River, have a passive perception of way too much. And pretty much all notice that he's gone through some sort of physical change around the chest, and if you investigate further, his tattoo has kind of rounded out and changed and rippled across his body in a different shape. The radiant energy crackling across his hands is hard to hide. Whatever happened still has not quenched his anger in any way. More so, just enhanced it.
Yeah, I'll note that and approach Sam at this time and be like, it's been a day. You've got new ink.
Something like that, yeah.
Will it be a hindrance or a boon to the coming fight?
Kind of just plays with the sparking in his fingertips and he says,
I think it'll help.
Good.
And he forms a fist.
That's what I like
Flex
to
a
hear.
little bit more.
There's a thrum that runs through the surrounding area. More like a vibration that you all feel rather than hear or see. But it just punctuates his words. Anyone else?
I guess River would go to blah, 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 blah.
Cloud?
Where am I? Oh no. Well, I guess Cloud can come too. But River was going to go to Scud and say, "We best be prepared to move."
I agree.
Did you still want to fly out to meet the prince?
I believe his flotilla is on the way, if I'm not mistaken.
Would you rather stay in the city then?
I'm eager to meet the prince, to be honest. I look up to him greatly, so if you are willing to fly out, I will join you. Forgot my accent.
I mean, I don't know exactly what I'd be able to do. His flotilla is a bit large for my magic unless I'd be able to dip into my epic inspiration.
So on that subject, I will say when they become applicable, and I'll remind you that each of you, except for you, Bud and Samuel, you've used yours. Each of you are able to use a heroic inspiration, one that can enhance your abilities in some way, or for a story purpose, give you a little more buy-in from me than perhaps I would once have given you. But mechanically in combat, these things can be used to like add a cleave to an attack, enhance a spell, raise a spell's level, or reduce it. Things like that. And I will say mechanically in the heat of battle, what this will do is, depending on how heroic you're being, may draw the attention of more enemies around you. So if you wish to do something like just attack, draw no notice. If you cleave, you will draw some notice. If you would like to fly over the battlefield in a skyship, dropping a napalm and drop onto a champion, you're going to get seen, and you're probably going to take more attacks and notice that way. But you have the opportunity to do so. So these sorts of things, if you wish to use that heroic inspiration, for instance, to upscale, Cloud Walk or whatever spell it is, I forget, the Ashes form, then that could happen. And you only get them back once everyone uses one. Once everyone's been cool, then you all get another round. So
basically my idea would be to upscale my wind walk so that I could potentially speed along the prince's flotilla.
Now, to remind you, in previous recap, the prince is 5 days away. The armies will be here in 2. To get there and bring the prince back, who's to say? But if you were to like bring him in a small contingent, that would certainly be faster. But the choice is still yours.
Well, okay, because I mean the choice would depend on, if I go, would depend on how DM fiat-y I can get with the heroic inspiration.
Well, that depends on how convincing you are and how much I've had to drink.
All right, drink more then.
Drink.
Please, God.
Or drink less.
How's
this ratio?
You guys think it's going to be so deadly? I don't understand why you're so worried about this whole thing. I want it to be fun and cool.
Because what River would like to do is just power the whole flotilla to get back.
Boy, howdy, you would have to really convince me.
Have like a whole floating flotilla of gaseous people. That'd be wild.
Yeah, you think even pushed, even to delve into the deepest pits of your reserves, you would not be able to do something like that.
Okay, then I'm not.
Yeah.
Not to move the entire flotilla.
Oh, I see. But if I could just get like the prince or someone.
Yes.
And get him back before the Yes.
To go out and retrieve the prince and some others, he would then become an asset to you in the battle.
Oh, I think that might actually be more worth, because then people might take him more seriously.
Rally behind him, yeah.
More seriously. Yeah.
I like
So I actually think that's worth it. I will then do it, and I'll say like, Scud, time is of the essence. Shall we? And I hold out a hand, Kingdom Hearts style.
When you walk away,
Scud grabs
away.
Fur's hand.
And I say, I must tap into reserves of energy I have not tapped into in my many years of adventuring. I'm just totally dancing.
I know.
Show me what you
We
got.
must become the wind.
You can say whatever you want as River. I know that.
Say, dost thou wish to ride with me?
I will ride with you. Let's get the prince back here and kick ass.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Will to you.
Hold out a hand and Scud puts his scaly palm in yours and poof, you both turn to Cloud.
I
And
say, oh, Cloud,
Yeah.
you can come too, I guess.
oh, is he coming with you?
I don't actually, no, he can stay there, because then he can... No, he should come with me, because then he can pass messages. Yeah, Cloud's coming with me.
He's like, oh, wait, am I coming? Poof, and he also changes. There's a quick moment of where, like, 3 clouds, and you can't really tell which one is which, except for one, which radiates light. Disco ball coming through a cloud. And you see they all lift off, and they kind of, there's a scrum where they don't know which way to go until River, like, starts directing, and they all fly off in a single direction, but...
I just want to also say, for flavor's sake, we all look like tiny little galaxy space dust.
Oh, like little systems with like orbiting
Yeah,
little
Little
things.
meteors and stuff coming off of us. And
Fuck yeah.
Nebulas.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's my thing.
River,
Godspeed.
roll a perception check for me. And I will roll one for Cloud as well.
I do.
21.
How doth
Oh,
I roll?
And I don't know if I could do this as well. Let me actually double check, because I could cast Find the Path as well.
Check on your concentration.
Yeah, let me double check on that.
Find the path.
Wow, after a refresh, all my fucking modules are back. Cool.
Use heroic inspiration, Bill. I think you're good.
I think it's all gonna be fine. Use your heroic inspiration. I think it'll just cover everything. You could.
Path. There it is. Concentration up to 1 day and Windwalk. Oh wait, actually, I don't think I can. I can do both. So I only have 1 6th-level spell. Never mind, we're winging it.
I would say if you use your
Screw it.
heroic inspiration and took a point of exhaustion, not a lot.
Ooh, spicy.
Mostly because you also have Scud with you, who, well, you have scryed upon him before. You know his general direction. Use it, take that exhaustion, and we'll see what happens.
All right, I will do so.
Lovely.
Mark that down. 2 days remain. What was I gonna do? Roll. There we go. I don't know why my roll 20 loaded with all none of my modules. You, River, see a flash of red in the sky, a flickering light that sort of it sort of shimmers and like it fades, and as it like fades, it appears somewhere else. It looks like a star, not unlike some red celestial bodies you've seen in the sky previously, but this one seems to dance across the sky in a way somewhat unnatural from other stars. But your immediate purpose is elsewhere, and you pay it, perhaps not immediate mind, but put it to the back of your mind for now.
It is a sign.
It's certainly a sign of something. Now, the rest of you, 2 days remain. You have what remains of this day to do as you wish. But the group of scouts and rangers that came with you don't linger. They trade words and nods of sort of acknowledgement to you as they move to report to their superiors and disseminate their findings throughout. Things begin to escalate within the city. People start to take your words seriously. There's no longer any doubt that something is on the way. Now that it's been seen with eyes and verified. And evacuation begins in earnest. Unfortunately, given the proximity of the armies, this sort of thing leads to panic. And there's a scrum from every gate to leave the city. Some by soldier, some by civilian. But war is upon the doorstep, and everyone now knows. Okay, I can no longer stall. I have to look through my notes. Where the fuck is it? Where did I put it? Okay, RP the recap, scouts return. Exchange of information. 2 people did that. Check. I chose not to do a roll-off for the inspiration. You both got it.
A roll off.
Yes, you are the nice one.
Rollies.
We got a roll-off!
Roll off.
The response is still sluggish, like a great mass to try and pick up speed. People have to, or there's that. Nobody. It's not like the army's on the doorstep. People are still gathering their things, carrying way too much, reluctant to leave their homes, but know the danger is close. The populace, as I said, borderline on panic, making their attempts to flee. Some do attempt to flee west into the unknown. These tend to be the people who have some trading experience, or trappers, hunters, various others who would rather risk the wilds than a ship that may not be there. But the regular populace have no choice. I already discussed the geography of it. The command force here organizing the city send missives out in every direction toward Dunhollow, past Hinterwood, down to Ovella and beyond. Any help that can be found, or well, not any help that can be found, but any hope of finding help is sought out by message. But whether anything will show up, it's a slim hope. So, what would you all like to do in the remaining days? I can speed ahead. I do have a personal thing for just about everybody that we'll go through, but if there's anything you wish to do, now's the time to say it.
I know. Oh,
Go ahead.
What's that? Go ahead.
Dwell on it for 5 seconds. Let me get a drink. But gather your thoughts.
Squid Hunter, Squid Hunter, Squid Hunter.
It's good. It's good.
It has been
I don't-
dwelt with.
I don't know what you were about to mention, Daniel, but
Oh, I.
Alchemist Fire?
Oh,
is
no,
what
I was
gonna
say, because I know I talked about doing plant growth on like the forests.
Okay. Yeah.
To the north?
Yeah.
Hang on,
but
we're
looking
back.
at-
Hang on. I just saw
Okay.
that my internet went and came back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard the tail end where you said you wanted to do plant growth into the forest.
Yeah,
correct?
I know.
That's
I was
exactly,
talking
yeah.
about that, but then looking at this map, I kind of have questions of how close is the forest actually? Because on the world map, it looked a lot closer than it is now.
Certainly. And this is a very immediate, over the top, randomly generated, if I may be honest. So it's not going to be to scale of what your expectations are. There is a surrounding forest beyond here. So imagine a tree line kind of bordering the map's perimeter, where the edge of what you can see a lot of the more immediate forest has been cleared out for timber, for building, for various needs. And you having, I mean, not a limited lifespan, but having experience here, you've seen the forest cut back further and further and further as the city sprawl increases and as nature gives way to civilization.
Okay. Because I know we had talked about, I think I had convinced like a small detachment of other rangers to do that. Could I use my super cool point to make the forests thick with 3 Cs?
Thick.
And or possibly make it thick with 2 Cs and leave some very aggressive beehives behind?
Fixie. I will say, God, my ADHD made a stupid joke in my head I don't want to say out loud, but it totally derailed my entire thought process. It was a Banksy joke. It wasn't even good. It was just I heard the C and that was it. Killed James anyway. I would say you don't have to use the point to like gather a population of rangers. I would even go so far to say is if you wanted to use that point to drum up more more of a following that you could then make it thick with at least 2 Cs.
Okay. Yeah,
and
sure.
perhaps it would slow their travel.
Yeah, let's do that at least by some extra time.
Okay.
Maybe leave some like booby traps or something.
To do all this, I would say would take you the better part of a day and then some. You would then probably have a point of exhaustion that bled into the next day, given how to travel out, do this work, given the number of you, and then come back would take some time.
All right.
Was there anything else you wanted to do within the city? Well, not to say that you would only have time for just this, but if there was anything you wanted to do before this, just be sure.
I mean, if I could get like some fancy arrows or something, I'd do that, but
How much gold you got?
I have 10. Okay, never mind.
I'll give you my 150 gold.
You have my 150 gold.
Timaville is not a material person.
Not a material girl.
But kind of what I'm fishing
Material
for
wealth.
is something like Baldur's Gate fire arrows or something like that. Like nothing like super fantastic, but just something that could pack a little tiny bit more oomph.
Hold, please.
I want to do things by bareback.
Okay.
I thought I said
All I heard was
do things
bareback.
with bareback.
That's exactly what I heard.
Oh,
too.
okay.
I was like,
Damn.
holy shit.
I heard I want to do things beer back.
Oh, okay.
Beer
I
back
mean,
also sounds fun.
Beer back, bareback?
All of us except for Daniel heard the same thing.
I think we can all agree unanimously that we didn't hear what he wanted us to.
Yeah.
Maybe that's exactly what he said.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
Walking wants
Maybe he
bareback.
said all of it at once.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So
I will give
150
you-
gold for it.
I will give you 3 options.
Mm-hmm.
You can have many at low quality. You can have a medium amount of a middle quality, or you can have a very low amount of a very high quality. If you spent all that gold.
You're the high quality.
High quality. Okay, well, Tyler, was that Tyler?
That was.
It's free
Okay,
real estate.
then it's your money I'm spending, so I'll go with high quality because that's what you want.
It's more
Man, I need it
cinematic.
now.
Sure, yeah, let's go with high
like,
quality. Why not?
How high quality? Like,
I'm
are
probably
they
not going to use them because I might need them anyway, and
dragon
I might
slaying
need them later
arrows?
anyway. So
Add for you, and we're not going to roleplay discounts or any of this shit.
oh yeah, no, no.
3 plus 3 ammunitions. So in this case, bolts. 3 plus 3. Actually, hang on. Do you get to preserve magical ammo, or are they spent with your magical weapon? They're pretty sure they're spent.
Yeah, like I mean it. Yeah, they're spent. Like unless I go and like recover it. At
Perhaps.
least I think so.
And you
Yeah,
get
there's nothing about,
one.
like-
You get one Bloodseeker ammunition.
Ooh.
Range attack rolls made with this ammunition have advantage against any creature that doesn't have all of its hit points.
Okay. Cool.
One-
Was that
Bloodseeker, yeah.
is that
Yeah.
actually an item, right? Bloods.
It's technically a magic item, yes.
Okay.
Now I should have access to it. Let me know if
Bloodseeker
I
ammunition. Okay, yeah, I see it.
don't. Okay.
Is a boat.
So with your limited green arrow ammunition, you know what? I'll even throw in a walloping ammunition. It packs a wallop. Very common, but it could potentially knock someone prone. It's literally just a fist arrow
Ooh.
Whoa.
with a
That's
DC 10 to knock something prone.
It's like a thunder.
But you know, you can have it just because I feel like that's fun.
Yeah.
And you head off into the forest with a contingent of about 30 rangers.
Cool.
It's unclear what. Well, it's unclear how effective this will be, but you know that it's better to do it than to not.
Yep.
So we shall see. And we'll come back to you later. What would you like to do?
Who?
I said the rest of you.
Oh.
Did I break out?
Yeah.
Yeah, skip
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Anyone
Yeah.
else? Literally anyone. Speak up all at once.
um,
Vulcan would like to reinforce the Wolfcrest Gate.
And do so. Roll your smithing tools with advantage and tell me exactly how you're reinforcing these Wolfcrest gates.
We are. I mean, I don't know what the current state of barring and closing and reinforcing, but we'd like to apply similar concepts to that impenetrable fucking temple door to the city at large. Where's my tools?
Now, was that impenetrable door due to its make and model?
That's
or your
not
inhabitants?
important. It was impenetrable.
oh.
Wow. There was almost two 20s on that shit.
Ah,
Roll me an additional perception check just for fun.
You say perception?
Yeah, unless you want to take your passive, but
I do want to take my passive.
what's your
I said it
passive?
before I rolled. 17.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
perception 12. Sorry, my bad. Different character.
Oh, okay. I was like,
My bad. My bad. Still taking the passive.
Man, you're immersed, goddamn. Holy shit, you had that on the cuff. It's me, 17. I said, no, move on. And Vulcan was like, step aside. It's not me.
That's not me.
This is me.
This is me.
But you know who is awful like you? I'm gonna put you on the spot for a bit of improv here.
Lore.
Because it was never really sussed out or planned.
Don't say Vulcan.
I'm actually gonna exactly say Vulcan. Now,
Got you.
can you tell me why Vulcan hates you so much?
Celestial Dawn, boy.
He was basically like Gary, right? At least that's what I imagined in my head.
He's your rival, yeah.
He's
Oh my
he's Gary to
God.
my Ash.
He was essentially a self-supposed rival to you.
When we left Pallet down.
Oh.
Hated my guts.
When you guys went on your separate ways, you both had aspirations of adventure, guild membership, and eventual heroic deeds. For one reason or another, you always had the mind for money and metal.
Yes.
He had a
business.
mind for and business. He had a mind for glory and always and for whatever glory you found, he always wanted to find more. Now, I'll remind the party the last time, well, not the last time, but the last time you had heard, you as a party, had heard that his group, the Celestial Dawn, was going after the Doomwaker of the Sea. And to take you to
They all
the
got
world map quickly.
slaughtered.
the Doommaker of the Sea was making roost in the Odessan Sea, attempting to breed and brood, and was eventually driven away, but not before the Celestial Dawn were seemingly wiped out. Now, for player knowledge recap, some of you know that he lived. For you, James, you were not a part of the Dwarvish one-shot, were you?
I don't know. I definitely thought he was dead.
You definitely thought he was dead. Now, I would like Josh, Tyler, Ross, I think Bill, and Daniel to describe their dwarves, at least by
Oh my
appearance.
god! You really
Oh
wanna
my
see what that guy
God.
look like?
Whoa.
Sure.
So I will read
go
to
first, I
you
guess.
this quick aside as you gather yourselves for this recollection back into the annals of time.
I'll go first, I guess.
Hang on,
Sorry, I got that.
I will remind everyone whom they were. There was Murdwar Bruchin, played by Bill.
Me.
Oh my god.
Loopy Limp Grip, played by Tyler. Grimdar
These names.
Trollbane, played
Oh my
by
Grimdar.
Jorsh, who never got to see the climax of that one. He had to leave early that time.
I sure didn't get to that climax.
Ross, playing Gigomir Onyx Belly.
Right.
I feel like I'm
right.
missing somebody, but I only see 4 in here. Daniel, where was Melkor?
I deleted the character sheet. Because
I deleted
ran
mine
out of
too.
slots.
Herman Melkor.
Yeah, that was his name. He was an artificer.
Ross, I see Gigomir in here still, so I have him
Oh,
by name. If
Never
nothing
mind.
else.
I still have
But
him.
not
My
by
bad.
reputation.
I found him.
I almost deleted Loopy, but I figured maybe something would come up.
Well, I did set it in Odasses for a reason. So,
Yeah, I got him.
Vulcan, as you are reinforcing the gates, with the intent of making them as impenetrable as possible, with as much ease of use as you can, the first gate and its garrison focus seems to be placed here. People are already reinforcing with metal, with steel, but you, with that 20, direct their efforts more toward for them, a spattering of races and a mix of expertise. Adding metal to doors just makes it heavier, right? The plates can fall off, but you at least are able to direct in the terms of the best reinforcement, the best means of at least like leveraging your resources the best way possible, and then making it as efficient as you can. I will even go so far to say is with that natural 20, you will have more time toward other things. So much so that this extra time that you are able to delegate and teach others is freeing you up to oversee more than work on it yourself. And as you do so, you see the general flow. Why is the music stopped? The general flow of people seems to be leaving the city, heading south and away from these gates. The people on the outside of in the farmlands to the north and the denizens of the Wolf Crest are moving south through this gate. But what catches your eye are a motley crew of dwarves and a giant metal man moving through the crowd. Like, people are just like moving around them for their affect and their aspect. 2 things catch your eye. The big metal man. He's clearly of Warforged make and model. You've never seen something like that. You have never seen a Warforged take on a size and shape quite like that. You know that experiments have been made, but nothing quite solid from the Mithril Forge to then create a brawler, a bruiser of that scale and size. A tank. And it lumbers through the crowd, but not clumsily. It moves with purpose and direction. You see these dwarves surrounding it. Sort of an odd sight, given the nature of the division, the schism between Warforged and dwarves that you left back when you saw them last or heard from them last. But these ones chatter in sort of a casual, amiably, casually and amiably in a way that just in a stark contrast to everything and the chaos and panic going on around you. So, dwarves, if you're ready, please describe what Vulcan sees when he looks at these dwarves.
Did my picture not pop up?
Where
am I looking?
I put display in VTT, but I don't know if it worked.
It didn't show anything.
Nope.
Maybe I have to click on this again.
I think I might need to
Not this
reload.
TT.
I'm not seeing it.
Mine, I posted a picture of here.
Is that working or no?
Where?
I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, hold on. How do
Is it in the chat?
I edit? Where is it?
Let me see if I can do it.
Oh, the last chat in this room was Shabiri grapes.
Oh, boy. Let chaos reign! Let chaos reign!
Okay, can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Limp Crip.
Oh,
Fearsome
okay.
foes.
I saw
For
everyone
context
tag.
for you, Ed, there was I think a week where we weren't able to play. Scrounged up together a one shot of
Oh.
dwarves
Mine came up.
to play.
Got you. Oh, I see Lippy now.
You should see Loopy.
Where's this?
Did mine come up?
I see it on your screen. I can do
Okay.
it from here, though, I think.
Okay.
Tyler, confusion?
Yeah, I don't see anything anymore. Did my thing pop up in the VTT?
I brought it
I
up.
see it now.
Oh, well, I don't see it for some reason. That's weird.
Oh, it's to
There
there
it
twice
is.
now.
There's two.
Ah,
How about
Yeah.
now?
I closed it and then it came back.
There's two.
An army of clones.
Get on this game.
Clone.
So, Tyler, go ahead and describe yourself just really quickly.
I mean, that's me.
That's it.
Is
Yeah.
this
Pictures
grip
worth
really
1,000
limp?
words. How limp is the grip?
Yeah.
I don't remember what voice I had. I don't remember. I remember the backstory of this character.
I always remember your character sounded something like this. It was in the highs. And it was, it was one of your usual voices, but like it was applied dwarvish. Was he a half gnome as well, or something?
Yeah, I think he had some like half gnome blood or something.
Gross.
Yeah, that's why he looks a little
Abomination.
funky, but he also has like a weird like twitch where he kind of like moves kind of mechanically sometimes.
Vulcan, you pick up on his sort of mechanical gait, almost like a clockwork gait, where his like something is driving his body forward versus him in his own power moving his body. You have Gigamir, who is Ross's character.
Yeah.
Couple details, doesn't have to be anything crazy. I'm dropping on you on this. I'm dropping this on you guys quickly.
Yeah.
Anything you remember?
Gigamir is a sorcerer wizard. I believe he sounded like something like this.
I believe that's correct.
And yeah, he's a hammer boy with the sorcery powery. He's got a hood and a scowl on his face.
Very good. That's more than enough.
All right.
George, you remember?
I-
George, look at
I
this
do
generic guy.
Yeah, I do believe I do. Hold on.
Get in there. Dig deep.
Hold on. Seeing if I had any of my stuff still.
Are you posting the pictures of all the other characters?
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I'm doing is I'm clicking display and then not displaying to players. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
That's Gigamir.
Onyx belly.
That's murder.
Yeah.
Oh,
Murderer.
get him all now.
Who gave Pops the phone?
I just remember Daniel being evil as shit.
We'll get to him. I
Hey,
know that I
hey,
don't remember
quit
him.
stealing my thunder.
Spoilers.
All right.
Do you have mine?
Is that not
It's up.
Mordor?
Murder's Bill.
That's
me.
not me.
Oh,
But-
fine. Bill, go ahead.
I mean, I remember nothing about this character. I was very drunk. But I just remember he was a kind of a bard with more of a mechanical, like he had some type of fancy like horn thing, and he was a like he. I really remember nothing, but I just have the art of him with like this crazy looking horn that I pinged everyone in the character. And
I saw that one.
Seem to recall you also being a little more sympathetic toward the Warforged, if I recall, right?
Sure. You say so.
Fair enough. I mean, this is Josh's character.
That's
Right?
just Josh.
Yeah, like they're the same picture.
That's pretty accurate. I tried to find one that looked like me. I think he had an absolute hate for trolls. His family despised them, and he came from a long line of troll killers, and that was his whole thing. It's all he knew.
Oh shit, Bill! I didn't realize you did that. I can post this somewhere. I'll figure out a way to display that. Then all that remains is Daniel, who I know you've got a kind of a clearer image, which will come up more importantly here soon.
What?
So, he's the most vocal one, and he's a dwarven artificer. And you see him, and he's wearing just pieces of Warforged as his armor. There's like a head on his shoulder. There's like a bunch of legs dangling off. And you just hear him, and he's like, yeah. And now, the Warforged, they want on the king's cabinet. They want votes. They're gonna take all the dwarven-minded jobs and steal it all from us. And we're just gonna let that happen?
Well, can
And
you
he's just
hear
going on a
him?
whole political rant. And
You hear him above all
other
others.
Build the mine.
Kind of just tolerating it.
There's nothing tolerant about it.
Oh, no, there
The
isn't.
only thing he's tolerating is the presence of this great figure. Vulcan, with your 11, you can hear him clearly. You can hear Herman Murdwar over all others. But you see this tank Warforged and see you recognize him immediately despite his change in size. This is Vulcan.
Vulcan.
And all these dwarves look at you, and Vulcan says, "At last." And you see him drop, and just like steam starts pouring out of his body, and you just see like gears moving and pistons going, like he's like charging up for something, and he's like, "I'm going to kill you, Vulcan."
So you're not gonna give him the muscle man voice?
Did I give him a muscle man?
Randy Savage.
That's what I did when I first introduced him, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, Vulcan!
No.
Back and I'm better than ever.
Not Randy
All of
Savage.
me bubbling to the top.
I mean muscle man from regular show.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know his name.
Tyler, with this group, you have to make the distinction.
You gotta be specific.
Oh, you need some muscle man from regular show?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who can do any of these jokes, but my mom can.
Oh, right.
Beautiful.
Right,
There you go.
That's who that is.
Vulcan, you thought you got away, but I'm here now, and I'm gonna kill you. And he starts gathering up his power to like attack you. But you see all the other dwarves sort of like gathering up. Herman also looks like he's ready to kill you at a moment's notice, despite his tirade of not wanting to give Warforged votes, he's more than happy to jump in at the behest of Bulkin's words. But you see Loopy Limp Grip just do a little on the side of Bulkin and he goes, boo! and deactivates. He says, "Hey man, what did you do to me?" And you see Loopy just like, "No, not today." He says, "We're here to find help, not kill people." He says, "My apologies, sir." And he gives like what for him would be a deep bow, but he seems to like hinge right at the waist and go directly down and back up. "I am Loopy Limp Grip. To whom do I have the pleasure of speaking to?"
It's just me there, right?
Yes. Wolf was gonna be there, but he went off into the forest.
Oh, well. Alright.
Yeah.
You didn't know
What
this
an
was gonna happen. That's
interesting
not your
crew.
fault. But
My
I'm gonna
name
interact
is
with every one of
Vulcan.
your fucking characters this session.
Oh,
Dang.
Ranger's gonna Ranger.
Every single one.
Oh,
Quick
wait,
mail bar
fucking
shows up.
Scroob's coming up. Yes.
Who's
Oh,
to
you
say?
can say, my name is Vulcan. What an interesting crew.
Ah, Welkin. Bulkin has talked extensively about you.
He looks
Honestly,
a
he
little
won't
different.
stop. Indeed. We came across him. Sorry, and I will bring you here for a little bit of context. We reunited back in New Helgrin. We found our friend here on the search for the Mithril Forge, which went missing not too many moons ago.
Do I have player knowledge of, or even character knowledge of that?
You do not know of the re-losing of the Mithril Forge.
Okay. Just making sure.
But the forge was
Curious.
lost in Helgrin, for the rest of you, if you recall, way back in like when Josh's first DM'd
Yeah.
in this campaign. Your party, the Seekers of Fate, were tasked with its recovery at the bottom of Old Helgrin, which became a closed-off hellhole for Doomwaker, Shrikes, and other horrors down below. But you did recover it successfully and liberated it back toward the Warforged. And since then, apparently, to speed things along, Loopy informs you of its eventual the strife between dwarves and Warforged, the continuing awakening of dwarven souls within Warforged, and a re-burgeoning desire to somehow find a peaceful middle ground for those two souls within all parties, to make all parties happy. He says, "We ourselves are looking for the lost hammer of Akmon, hoping that we can forge a new breed of Warforged. But those arts were lost long ago."
Hey, like that hammer right there.
You're not carrying it. You left it back
No.
on the ship and haven't thought about it for months.
That's the sleepy hammer, right?
That's a sleepy hammer.
Sleepy hammer.
Or rather than the sleepy hammer, the hammer that prevents all sleep.
Oh, is that what you said? I remember something.
It was
While it was on
the
your-
hammer that prevented everyone from resting. And he
That's
got
right.
really
Made everybody exhausted.
Within
Like,
proximity, everyone was refused rest. And given the size of your ship, no one would. And as you recall, the name Akmon, thought of in a long time. Something stirs within you. Another feeling stirs, long left dormant. That you haven't thought of in a long time. He says, "But our work continues. We sought Whittletier for any sort of potential lead in that direction, and any sort of master smiths that could help us, but seems Whittletier is supposed to be under siege." And
You
that,
arrived at the end of the world.
Yes, indeed. And the other dwarves are kind of look somewhat excited by the prospect of the end of the world and a place under siege. A couple of them start straying up toward to admire your work and just observe the work that's going on. Herman himself is like, kind of like looks excited at the prospect of battle or anything else, but
Just another tinny mess we dwarves are gonna have to clean up.
You should be pleased with the wall.
Rushed. It ain't. It's got seams in it. This work is garbage.
and your exchange goes back and forth in this way for some time. But do you seek any information from them, or what would you like to do with this newfound
With this crew.
this random crew of Vulcan and dwarves?
With some,
If any.
I don't know, we have to far to go with this. With some apprehension. What did you do to Vulcan there? Looks like a kill switch. Such things are not looked upon kindly.
Not a kill switch, just a sleep switch. He's more prone to violent acts and instability, given his changes. He was, when we found him, inexpertly made or enhanced. But he sought revenge against the Doommaker of the Sea and others. It sounded like you, honestly. And he can be quite volatile unless... and when I say volatile, I mean explosive, if not properly maintained. So a coolant mechanism was added not too long after we met him.
Curious. Perhaps you'll share those designs. Curious as to their chemical nature.
Perhaps we could. However, it is rare that we find and meet someone of such acclaim. What have you been up to? Your deeds have been long spoken of, New Helgrin. Oh, I froze, didn't I? What was the last thing you heard?
It seemed seamless. I think I got everything, but now that you're saying that, I don't actually know if we did.
Yeah, you might have.
But I don't think
I
we missed
saw
anything.
cameras freeze.
Your audio was consistent for me.
Yeah, it's pretty
Video might have
seamless.
stuttered a little.
Then I said everything I meant to.
Your video did not kill the radio star.
Unfortunate.
Too many rumors abound. All you need know is that we are here in this city for this war.
And it seems so are we.
Like the idea of like a random citizen coming up saying, Vulcan here killed a Doomwaker with his bare hands.
Shrug. I can neither confirm nor deny.
And yet, despite the rumors, your prowess is well spoken of. Perhaps we could have you look at our friend Vulcan sometime. And you hear, "No, don't touch me!" But he's like unable to move.
Yes.
Oh, so he's like
He's,
self-conscious. Okay.
Oh yeah, yes he is.
just paralyzed.
He's
He
just
has become an
momentarily
object of
paralyzed.
curiosity.
We'd be happy to exchange information anytime. Seems we'll be stuck here for the moment. So these dwarves are yours to utilize or interact with as you will. But they're looking for the Hammer of Akmon in the attempt to somehow I cannot think of the word.
Like repair relations, repair species.
Not even partially. A return of the hammer would be a diplomatic win, but like also some way to find a way for two souls to rest within a single body, or some splitting of, or some sort of settlement between the two. They believe the Akman's hammer has the capability of doing so. So, if you don't want to tell them you have it, then don't.
I would say, which ship is it on? Because I didn't think it was our current ship.
I thought it was on your airship. You just left it in the smithy. It only seemed when you attuned to it that those benefits and detriments really came forth, and the whole aspect of a dual soul never really reared its head again ever since. But holding the hammer seems to.
Okay, holding the hammer again seems to, and then you kind of broke up.
Well, I probably turned away also. But holding the hammer seems to awaken whatever dwarven spirit resides within you. But it has been dormant ever since. But attunement seems to be what draws the benefits and the detriments from the hammer.
I'm not going to tell them I have it, but I do say, come and find me when this is over. If I'm alive, perhaps. In regards to the hammer.
You say, and we hope that we are alive after all of this is said and done. If the rumors are to be believed.
I would like them to reinforce the other two. I'm assuming like we went to the middle one, like between Wolfcrest and Gate on the map.
Yeah, I was saying from like right to left, you were just moving across the gates. So if you wish to enlist their aid for reinforcement and then go to another set of gates, I'd allow that.
Can I split them between the one on the left and the right? And then I would actually like to reinforce the entry points at the Moonheart Knot. Those 3 bridges seem like a nice evacuation point. Or like a fallback point. And then make sure that there's, I don't see one, but like some kind of walkable route through that wall in the peninsula. So if worst comes to worst, we can retreat to Moonheart Knot and then escape through there with fortified like water bridges as key defense points. That makes sense?
It does. With your previous history checks, you know that it is a good retreat point. However, and the walls could hold, but if you wanted to retreat from there, if the other bridges in Fish Bridge, Bright Road, and Lowside were to fall and the armies to cross them, you would certainly be cut off from any sort of escape. But you certainly could hold out here for a time. It's unclear if there are any sort of reserves in terms of like supplies or food, but a long-lasting siege, you imagine, would not. Like Moonheart would be a desperate gamble.
Yeah, I'd at least.
If you're able to hold the river, then people could move over the wall or through the wall if you broke it down. But
as a tunnel or something or other. But yeah, as a more defensible point for a duration to escape from.
And there are sizable garrisons along the river, despite even though they're not within. Something could hold on those bridges and within the surrounding towns across that river, because it is such a crucial thing to hold. Moonheart is a defensible place.
Whatever I can do in the time allotted to again,
What
like
are
kind of
you
reinforce
hoping to
those
do?
bridges.
Name a thing. Like, are you looking to reinforce or to collapse? I guess is what I'm asking.
No, we'll reinforce as choke points. Those 3 bridges to let buy enough time to leave through whatever sort of makeshift escape we have through the back wall.
Certainly could. And you start directing your efforts in that vein with these dwarves and Bulkin attempting to reinforce and pick up your work with Wolfcrest. Does anybody else want to do anything? Does anybody else have any ideas?
Yeah, kind of to piggyback off of like the reinforcement that Vulcan's trying to do. I wanted to reach back into my background,
Mhm.
which is as an urchin. So knowing like the city secrets and to kind of lend that to seeing, because knowing my limits and not necessarily magically inclined, like surgically striking certain places within Blackfire Reach and like the Great Sprawl and basically everything, even including the castle, that could potentially be a collapse. So to go off of that other thing, to land on approaching large creatures or swarms. I don't know if there's like how tall the buildings are, just offhand, but if there's a way to like surgically like explode like different like key parts of buildings so that they toppled
Sure.
over as motion or as swarms came in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, as a fallback if the walls were to fall and people were to
Yeah.
breach through.
Yeah.
I could say this: the buildings of Wiltier tend to go up versus out, right?
Mhm.
Especially in the wake of the in the wake of the awakening and the eventual collapse of parts of the city.
Mhm.
Structures tend to go high versus sprawl out. There's not a whole lot of room to sprawl out anymore, so people went upward.
Perfect.
If you can find a means of collapsing buildings, I'll allow that. I will even go so far as to say I'll allow you to roll a certain number, and you'll have that sort of like an amount of them to collapse on things if you wish.
Yeah. Well, I already had the idea, or we were playing with the idea of like researching like alchemist fire. I don't know if that's necessarily the same thing, but kind of in a similar vein. If spending the next couple days to just invest myself into the research of explosives and fire.
So
to,
when we last left Dangle Pangle, you wanted him to work flat out on a napalm barrage of alchemist fire. Now,
yeah.
on that subject of him, you can have him continue that effort, and we could have a certain X amount of napalm strikes you can use, or he can work on more specific C4 like charges that we can use instead. But that's up to you guys. You have to choose one or the other.
Fuck.
Can we call them Can we call them
I know you
P4
want
charges for Pangle?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Can we call them P4 charges for Pangle?
P4.
What?
Thank you.
Bad joke. Anyway.
Oh. Damn it. Oh, I have to choose. Damn it. I think I think I'll lean into just like knowing the city probably more than carpet bombing. I think I'd probably lean back into like the C4 type of surgical strikes. So yes, I'll go to that one. I'll choose that one.
Very well. He says, I always forget his voice.
You want me to do it? Tell me what you want.
Just give me a
star.
give me a starter.
Pangle or blurred?
That's tough. Yeah, you want blurred or you want dangle?
Blurred, I know. Blurred, I got. I know blurred, for he is me. But just give me a sample of him and I'll have it. But
I mean, I don't know. Tyler, you did dangle pangle.
Yeah, it wasn't a squeaky like what's the word? Type of wizard. It's like squeaky and it's a weirdo.
Squeaky and a weirdo.
I don't remember. There's a specific word. I'm just not coming to my mind. But whatever.
I think it's been a couple months since I've used his voice. He says, "I can do that for you.
Yeah,
Of course.
right.
I just have to. I just put it a bit here, put it a bit there. It's more just like an explosion. That's the problem, right? So you just need the catalyst for. I can do this. Yes, I can do this.
Good.
Yeah.
Eccentric's the word.
Right.
There you go.
What was that?
Eccentric is the word.
Eccentric?
Yeah.
Not me. Accuse me of such a thing. But if you wish it, it will be done.
Mango. I don't know what gold I have, but I'll tip him as much as huge as I can. Maybe a little kiss on the forehead,
Oh,
and then yeah, just to inspire his work. However
Don't
way I can.
patronize me. This gold will be used for supplies. But I'll take the kiss. And I'll get for you the greatest explosive you've ever seen.
Counting on it.
Good. That's what I'll get you. Now go. You disrupt my work.
I leave.
All right. Anybody else?
Samuel's just gonna walk through the streets. Like he's looking for
that up.
Yeah, no, he's just walking looking for anyone who looks like I don't know, weary,
Kick their ass.
unsure. Yeah, and then I kick their ass. Wimp.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Just want to bolster bolster up the civilians, I guess. There you go.
So you're gonna wander the streets looking for dissidents and try to embolden the populace. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just like, give head nods and
Fist bumps.
encouragement that we can win this, rather than just like, a lot of people wanting to flee, trying to prevent people from fleeing, essentially.
Roll a persuasion check then.
Damn it.
And I will say you can do it. Well, yeah, roll a persuasion check.
Do it with your high charisma.
When
Feel
he's done
decent.
with that, I've got something.
Sounds good. You think you've. Well, you certainly haven't done any harm. You are looking around. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me as well. Or an insight, your choice.
They're both the same, it's all that matter.
With the 16, you think like I said, you think you haven't done any harm, at least. Some people give you nervous nods, and your presence isn't enough to embolden them in the face of impending death. But seeing you present is enough to like at least bolster their resolve. That at least you're with them. You'll die as one of them. With a perception check of 16, you notice that some of the eyes linger on you. A little longer in some ways, like almost like they're assessing you. But to one end, you can't tell.
Sure. I mean, what I want to do here is, do the whole Aragon, like, this is my sword.
Aragon oh, okay, sorry.
Just like seeing all the
This is my
people that are
fist.
like are super unsure of themselves, and
I will die as one of them.
but I won't say that.
But I won't say that. I'm not going to say that.
I wouldn't say that, but I would intend, for all intended purposes, Samuel is perfectly happy dying if he gets his revenge. So, but no, he's gonna like see anyone who seems, like distressed, and approach them, put a hand on their shoulder, and
say, we can do this.
How can you be sure?
We have the walls, we have numbers. City's never fallen before. It won't fall anytime soon.
Roll another persuasion check.
I don't want to.
You're doing the talking. I'm not going to have you crush this guy with athletics. The person you're speaking to, he looks moderately geared, as though he has been in a guard post for a limited amount of time. whatever resolve and goodwill he had to join, and whatever altruism was driving him, is wearing very thin. And your talks of walls and your talks of walls don't seem to really have quite the effect you're hoping. But he just nods sort of mechanically. He's like, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah. Anything else?
I kind of want to be seen with a big group of like really powerful looking individuals to give hope to people. Like like, oh man, with these guys on our side, we can't lose, type of thing.
Then who do you pick?
I pick Kaz Dae, if he'd be willing to walk around with me. Who else? Who else is a big intimidating? Well, I can't pick Scud, I can't pick River. I'd say probably Bud with me. I mean, they're of the people now, you know. They're clerics and paladin, inquisitor and arch, whatever it was, archbishop. Yeah.
High Inquisitor and Archbishop.
Yeah.
Okay. Bud, let's quickly go to you and say, what are you gonna do? Or what were you planning on doing?
Well, I was kind of thinking back in terms of when I was talking to the Aegis, they were saying, you know, we could potentially, if we pulled all the clerics that are out doing their work, we could potentially inspire them or use them to cast a larger overarching spell. But, you know, at the cost of not having frontline support for medics. So I didn't want to do that. Kind of wanted to spend, you know, if I do have a day to go around, you know, after helping Samaville, I really want to be able to go and, you know, kind of do like an anointing in each of these areas to kind of like inspire hope, you know, kind of like a kind of like at every single one and like bless the holy water, you know, and do things like that.
Sure.
Matthew and the Handmaiden.
Are you doing like final rites and like just being available for ceremony?
Essentially, you know.
Okay.
That in the hopes to inspire to help, you know, even do, if you would allow, like, if there's people like, you know, common folk are trying to like get, you know, have been followers possibly of Helm, that are looking to be, you know, join the fold, as it were. Instead of training soldiers, we're bringing warriors instead of warriors of Christ. So we're at the walls, you know, we're getting people to be able to cast, you know, basic level spells for Helm to protect and heal.
All right, listen, I want to go on record and say right now, you can. I'm going to allow this because it's D&D. If you can gather a following in 2 days under the name of some god or whatever, you've got a cult on your hands, okay? I do not endorse this sort of behavior. IRL.
That's how they all start.
But in-game, sure. I will say that your effort of trying to then convert people to Helm to die in a sort of zealous crusade against a bunch of cultists and demons.
This is just
Better than Kool-Aid and aliens, right? I don't see a problem.
Like that.
If you pursue the mass conversion of Quiltir, I will say you are unable to help Samaville in his efforts.
Okay.
But Koss is more than happy to troll the streets with you and patrol and be. So, Samaville, if you can find a way in your mind, like for like you want a show of strength, if you can think of a good way to do that with Koss in tow, and he still has his heroic inspiration, he's more than happy to do so.
I'll just have us lead a battalion of like maybe the advanced soldiers through the town, marching and like shouting my thaumaturgy to follow commands, just so the rest of the town can see what we have, what we're working with. and since Kaz is like an intimidating presence, it's like, oh man, this guy's serious business, dude.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm leaning toward intimidation. If you can sell me on another skill, I'll allow that as well. That would be
I
applicable
prefer
here.
intimidation over other stuff, but watch me roll.
Would you like to roll
under
with
10.
advantage, or would you like costs to roll with you?
I'll let Cost roll. I've a good intimidation, but I think it's fun to let Cost do some of the work. He rolled with advantage, huh? See, I knew I'd roll under freaking 10. I knew I would. I've been rolling over 10 this whole time on persuasion checks.
+6 is a lot, dude. I thought you had less than that.
Well, my other ones are +1 for talking.
No, fair enough. I mean, be trained in it, right?
Real quick, how many days until?
2.
2. Okay.
We'll say you're eating into your first day of 2 here right now.
I'm going to do this as part of that. You know, go to. I suppose it would be. Are we thinking Wolf Crest is going to be the actual gate, like in this direction, is going to be a serious like breaking point potentially?
Yes.
Okay. Then I would cast one of my big spells on that. Let's see if it'll actually show all the details of it.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I remember this one.
Hello?
it might. Yeah, so I'm going to hallow the ground around the entirety of the gate, 60-foot range, and just bless the entirety of the actual door. Granted, if somebody goes through the wall, it's going to be different, but if they try and forcibly go into the gate, and it's at least it's blessed ground.
I will say you cannot convert the populace of Wiltier and do this.
This is an act of just absolute
Give a
spiritual
shit. You
blessings.
cannot.
This is what a, dare I say, messiah of Helm would do to bless the people
Guys,
of this
you want-
city.
This guy, I'm
I'm
already
getting
warning
miracles
against
out
starting
here.
cults, and you're calling yourself a messiah. Jesus Christ! Prove my point harder.
People.
God, I'm a messiah.
Jesus Christ, you say.
Not yet. I'll make those claims.
Not
after we
yet.
sing it. Listen,
One or the other.
I'll inspire the people. And then merchandising.
Instead of doing hollow,
Yeah. Then merchandising.
you have 2 days. You could do something, but this will require 24 hours.
I will. Yeah, it will. If I have to do one or the other, I will just spend it. Inspire the people.
All right.
Rather, the clerics that are going to heal the people.
I will say for Kazdai then that he trawls the streets with you, Samaville, and you're barking orders at people who are. Do you take a bunch of veterans who show strength, or a bunch of people that you've trained to do it?
Presumably, I would want to take people that I've trained that advanced to a veteran level, if that makes sense. Not like old soldiers, but like, you know, the people who
See what you're saying.
started off as civilians and became freaking powerhouse units.
Well, they're not going to be in the 2 days that you've trained them. They're not going to be veterans, but they show a competence, but a normalcy that is previously unseen. And your ability to have then brought them into fighting shape quells some of the doubt in those around.
Matt, when you
But
say
what-
veteran in this instance, you don't mean like old person. You just mean like somebody who's seen action before, correct?
Skilled in combat, right? These people have not been tested in combat, so they can't, by nature of combat or war, be veterans. But in the face of fear, and as Kazdai follows in the, he intermittently will just stop and look around at the crowd, and the crowd roots itself in fear. But your trainees, in the face of this fear, march onward and continue to operate in the rank and file. And what you've done in 2 days is turn ordinary folk into soldiers.
Ooh,
And people see that.
it's actually pretty crazy.
It is. It's insane, actually. Bud, go ahead and roll a religion check? Persuasion check?
Look, which one do you want? Which one do you prefer? Religion?
What are you telling people?
Do you want me to read my speech?
Ooh,
You have a
there's
speech written?
Speech.
Fuck yeah, I do. Are you
Speech.
kidding me?
Speech.
Hang on, let me
Speech. Yeah. He just weeps.
I'm drinking ranch water tonight. That seems fitting for the bile you're about to spit. Here, give it to me. What do you got? Walk away. You get your ass back here.
Well, if you're getting some, then I might as well grab some.
Yeah, that ain't
yeah,
ranch water.
Ranch.
I bought these in a, I don't know, in his fitting of insanity. They're not bad, but it's not whiskey.
You say ranch water, and I'm just thinking like diluted ranch dressing. And
That's what I'm thinking too. Like, what is this? It's like,
literally
it
just-
doesn't sound good.
It's
water,
tequila,
just-
sparkling water, and lime.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a Texas drink. It's like tequila and sparkling something.
Okay, so it's not actually ranch dressing in water. Thank you.
No. No. All right.
All right.
King's speech. Lay it on me.
All right. Well, I've spent some time, I'll just say, and amass as many people as I can. You know, get a large crowd, stand up on a pulpit, as it were, you know, or a small house or something with a bunch of other clerics with me, and to inspire those around me. I will look out upon the huddled masses, the wary and the beaten and the damned.
Broken the beaten down.
My fellow warriors, faithful followers of Helm, today we stand on the precipice of a great and daunting challenge. The enemy is formidable, and the path ahead is fraught with danger. Yet, as your archbishop, I stand before you not to dwell on the fears that may gnawed our hearts, but to inspire you with the unwavering spirit of Helm, the ever-watchful. Helm, the vigilant one, watches over us with eyes that never close, guarding us from the perils that seek to undo us. He embodies the shield that deflects the blow, the armor that withstands the strike, and the courage that drives us to stand firm in the face of adversity. In his name, we do not falter. In his name, we do not yield. Bravery is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Look to Helm, and let his example inspire you to rise above your doubts. Hold fast to your honor, your duty, and your faith. Stand together, shoulder to shoulder, as one indomitable force, united by our devotion to the Protector. Now, as we face this battle, know that Helm's gaze is upon all of you. He sees your courage, your valor, and your unwavering commitment to justice. We fight not for glory, not for conquest, but for the sacred duty entrusted to us by God himself. Let his blessing be upon your armor, your wisdom be your guide, his strength be your sword. For Helm, for honor, for Wiltir. And I hold up a drink.
Good stuff. And as you hold up your glass, or your goblet, or tankard, what have you, what are you drinking?
I'll say
bud.
my holy water flask is currently full of whiskey.
As you speak, there's a light that suffuses your feet and sort of drives itself up through your chest. And as you're speaking, you yourself are inspired. Go ahead and have inspiration.
Excellent.
At your fervor. But you can feel the religious epiphany you had earlier in the day from that broken down church that you then swore to yourself to rebuild, suffusing you. And your instinct takes over. You can then consume this religious you can then like take this moment of religious fervor and consume it for yourself, spread it out amongst these people, or save it for another time.
I'll spread it out amongst the people.
Roll a persuasion or religion check with advantage.
Oh, with advantage, hold please.
Oh,
Hold on.
Hey, let's do it again. Okay.
Wow,
That was
The
a journey.
duality of man.
Yeah.
a fine choice it seems. You see doubt. You see naysayers in the crowd. You see people not jeering, but you see fear. And you see hopelessness. You see yourself reflected in their eyes, a ragged alley cat. Hopeless amongst these people. And as you hold out your flask of holy water, you say, what was the last thing you said?
Hold on, let me get back to it. For Helm, for honor, for Wiltir.
For Wiltir.
Those things all start with H.
I didn't get that. That's good.
I already gave inspiration once. Alliteration gets inspiration next. I guess. You hold out the glass, and as you take a drink from it, it's a sloppy pour as you just take it open mouth, and the water that pours over you just from you, and it's like a deluge that just spreads out from this box you're speaking on, and you can see as you take your gasp of enriching water. You remain ragged and corrupt, but everyone around you is filled with hope and a zealous fervor, and cheers are met with your words. For Wiltir! For Wiltir! They may not convert, but they are certainly bought in to defense of the city.
I'm buying brownie points right now with the masses. We'll come back to this.
I will say so. Yeah, no,
Cool.
morale is improved.
Excellent.
And briefly, hope is kindled. You briefly feel this malaise and this cloud of darkness and fear lift and abate. Giving you an opportunity, I would like you to roll an insight check with advantage because you felt it before.
Now, is this an insight check with an S or an insight check with a C?
It's Jesus. You felt this sort of fear before, and it reminds you of
so wet.
he's been baptized. Clearly, why is Jesus so?
Supposed to be like after you got baptized and like the anyway.
Move on.
Don't the Trinity get you all hot and bothered? I mean, I'm wet. Don't strike me with lightning. Not for this. Not today, please. This feeling is as it lifts. That's the dove making that sound, right? Yeah, this is my son.
The duck of peace.
You're suddenly reminded of dark caverns, stones coming to life with mouths that feast, and one of your friends who transformed into a monster that you had to kill. This fear and malaise reminds you of the Doomwaker of the Underdark. And now that you recall it, you feel his presence all over. And this creature is inciting some sort of fear on the town, bringing down morale and bringing down hope of success in the oncoming war.
Okay.
Why you should take an interest and why it's so focused and powerful, you couldn't say. Now, I believe that only leaves a few others. Trixie, are you doing anything while you're here?
Trixie is just roaming around the city, kind of taking a lot of the sights in, just not doing very much to kind of help, really. She sees that everybody's pretty much got it covered. So she's mostly kind of taking her time, taking it all in before the big battle comes up.
Taking it all in, you're just observing. Are you observing others? Or are you observing the town, or the city rather? Or are you reminiscing? What would you say?
She's not really observing anybody in particular. She's just more so like a mosey around the city, I guess. If she's like reminiscing just about, Umlau and their daughter for the most part, and just kind of hoping that she just gets back. And if she doesn't, then Umlau knows the plan if anything were to happen.
And isn't that always what it's been about? Your departure from this place, only to come back in the most dire of times. What would you say is keeping Trixie here rather than leaving for her family?
That tiny little bit that she didn't get to go with Umlau the first time. The part where, she was stuck at home with the child and then he was lost for an entire year and was like, oh, fantastic. And she didn't really get the actual chance to adventure as much like she really wanted to or was supposed to.
And part of you is almost feels guilty that
almost
a siege would still be considered an adventure. But there's still glory to have here.
A little bit.
And you can't help but think that if the roles were reversed, he would have done better here, or done better with your child, and you would have seen the job done. But he's a good father, and that little bit of resentment fades quickly as your mind sets to the task at hand.
Yeah.
You're doing this for you, but you're doing it for them too.
Exactly. That's pretty much her biggest goal. She finally got everyone together and hoping she doesn't, go out in a burst of flames as she walks, through the flames and then gets back home so she could yell at her husband some more.
I would say that sort of time taken to yourself to recollect on the important things will grant you inspiration for sure.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome, sir. Now, you should all see that pie chart fill one more. As you occupy your time, Wolf, you return. The terrain, difficult, wet, but your knowledge sees you through. You are exhausted when you return and need a long rest, but you and the other rangers have used your primal magics and anything you can to set booby traps and increase the difficulty of the terrain in any way you can. It's unclear what could be done, but it does also grant you comfort that you didn't run into anything along the way. There's not less time than you had hoped. Some of your scouts run far afield and return after you. I will now go to my notes. They report that the giants have reached the base of the mountain.
Okay. So on the
Or reaching the base of the mountain. They're nearly falling down to its roots.
Okay. So like
But the armies are on their heels.
How are the numbers doing? I mean, of them? Are they still...
They number below 100 at least. The scouts report that any stragglers left behind are captured by a contingent of the army coming down the mountain behind them. Any of the dead who are killed or resist are collected up as well.
Yeah, okay.
You're okay. Little shit.
Like, how far, like, travel-wise? I assume that's, like, multiple, or days of travel we're talking about, like, distance-wise.
At least a day.
Okay.
You reckon that as the laying out the reports and laying out their maps, it's becoming apparent that this contingent that drove the tribes off the mountain were meant to place the giants ahead of the army with the intent of them being intercepted.
Oh, okay.
They say there's a chance that something could be done, but I don't know what. Likely suicide to do it.
Do any of us speak giant?
I don't know. Can any of you speak giant?
I believe Zoom speaks giant.
I know.
I believe you're right.
Cast tongues
Foz?
on somebody.
Oh, tongues. I was like, Foz can speak giant.
I think he knows tongues. I mean, he we're what, level 13 now? So technically he's like 4 levels behind, so like he could learn it. But I'm pretty sure he has it.
Just level him up, bro. Just scale him up. To lay it out simply, if you were to do anything with the giants now,
Yes.
and it has to be now, it would risk further exhaustion.
Uh-huh.
And likely require the airship.
Okay. Do we know like the numbers of the people chasing them? Because you previously were saying it was like an army, so...
Well, there's the arm. Well, to I
like...
see you tactically looking at the map. Some thousands come down the pass from the north, but
yeah,
from the Gray
no, I'm more
Peaks,
asking about
some
like,
hundreds.
the Great Peaks numbers. Okay.
Some hundreds, likely mostly mages, that are capable of driving forth a tribe of giants, numbering in the dozens, now less than 100. So.
Okay.
I know you guys had expressed an interest in doing something for the giants, so this is your opportunity, but know that if you do this, something else will likely have to give.
I'm just trying to think like what we can do, because gotta fight like hundreds of dudes. Do we even have the forces to do that? Sorry, I'm kind of asking the group at large.
Yeah, I mean,
This, more so because I know, at least when we were on the airship, it didn't really seem feasible.
So if
Yeah.
well, you could probably
unless...
airlift a single giant with your airship.
So
And-
well, I mean, what I'm thinking of is more route the mages that are chasing them, and then talk to the giants and have them help defend Wiltier. Would kind of be the ideal goal. But as for the defeating hundreds of mages, do we get an count like couple hundred, like more towards like high hundreds toward 1,000?
The breathless and exhausted scout that reports to you says some 300, maybe more.
Okay.
We haven't done much by way of combating the frost giants, but if mostly just in the name of peace. Very rarely do they come off their peaks, but for them to drive them forth, they at least must be some mage, some level of mage proficient or more. I couldn't say.
What do you guys think? Do you think it would be... We'd want to go out and do it?
Trixie could cast Disguise Self, possibly disguise themselves as a frost giant, but I think the
Size.
CR might be too high.
Size also does accounts.
Yeah,
You would not
size,
be the size of a frost giant. You would look like one.
It'd look
In
like
miniature.
one.
Well, I mean, currently they're like running for their lives, so...
Even still, I can also cast Fog Cloud to where we can try and do something to maybe help redirect them, where
Would
they go
maybe
in
a heroic.
Yeah, I mean, we could
possible.
do something like a Sally Forth. What's the when you go outside the gate and do like an attack to kind of get the siegers off. Shoot, what's it called?
Like a preliminary. Like, the right word is here, but I know what you
Guerrilla tactics kind of thing? Hit and run?
Not gorilla. He's talking about like you rather than stay behind a wall,
like a
Yeah.
charge.
you meet them in the field first.
Yeah,
In open combat.
There's a term for it that I can't remember because I'm trying to
Parlay?
remember it.
No.
Diplomacy.
I will say, I have written in my notes negotiation because you guys haven't actually talked about it. I, of course, will facilitate anything. If you can find a good reason for it, it's always on the table.
But essentially, shoot, I had it for a sec. Dang it. But essentially go and do kind of not necessarily an attack that would defeat the mages, but at least buy the frost giants enough time to get away from them.
Sorte?
We'd have to.
A sortie,
we'd have to
sortie.
be-
That's it. Yeah.
Ah,
a
yeah,
sortie.
yeah, yeah.
That's what I was trying to
Sortie.
think of. Thank you, Matt.
We'd have to
I
do
play
it
games.
like a two-pronged thing.
Yeah.
Someone would have to let the frost giants know that we're there to help. Otherwise, we're just doing something, and the frost giants really are just trying to get away. They wouldn't really give a shit what's going on behind them as long as they got away from it.
James
We'd
is
have to
killed
say
now.
something to them.
I hated that. I got mad. So naive. Oh my god.
But I mean, from what I'm thinking is if we're doing offensive actions against the mages, and they would at least get the idea that, oh hey, maybe we're not attacking them if nobody attacks them. And then if we can have somebody who speaks giant, then yeah, we could say, like, go, we'll hold them here for a while.
Yeah, Zoom can
And-
speak giant, and he's pretty scary, so might be able to scare some mages.
Yeah, so we could do that.
I have Dragon's Breath as a spell.
Do that. Did
I can whisper within 120 feet. That helps. I don't know.
we redirected Dangle Pangle onto the P4 charges, right? See, I'm making it a thing.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make fetch a thing, Gretchen.
No, well, then your street's behind.
So fetch.
Almost glared.
So we don't have any sort of airstrike capabilities, correct?
Not unless you find some other. Not unless you commit time and resources to developing another means of it.
Okay. Which doesn't sound like we have. So
Well, I mean, you guys have to commit to it. So
I mean,
this
we can just
sortie.
blow a bunch of if we do this sortie, we would potentially like using a couple people's heroic inspiration points. Like,
Can
But
we-
my thought
it
is
will
we
not-
use like a giant fog cloud or something to like give us some cover from like faraway mages.
But you're not there.
Zoom is there.
Would Zoom know to use fog cloud and all that
Well,
stuff?
no, this is out of character talk.
Oh,
We're,
okay.
like, coming up with ideas that we could potentially
Oh, okay.
implement in this sortie.
I think you guys need to focus on more the are you going to do it? Like, is it worth the resources? Because what is going to be required to make this sort of rescue attempt happen is going to
think that's
require
what we're
manpower,
currently figuring out.
resources, and more than just like simple spells. You're talking about fending off hundreds of mages. Okay. Fog Cloud may or may not fool 300 mages.
Well, the idea
what
is they won't be able to see, like they can't target us with ranged spells if they can't see us through fog clouds.
Okay.
Is the idea.
And what I'm saying is that they're mages. They can either counter or dispel magic. Is what you're...
Even if it's a heroically charged?
Yeah. You could try. Who's to say what sort of counter action you would impose by doing a heroic feat like that? Heroics could also mean sacrificial.
This could be what we could do is do something like, do we know the direction, like the which like path they're generally traveling?
Yeah, they're
set
they're
up
coming.
an ambush in the woods, kind of like ahead of them. So like as they pass us, then we do kind of like the river over Osgiliath thing, where we kind of come in amidst them and sow disorder amongst the ranks, and then retreat.
I will say this: the idea when I said that the main army is on an intercept course, to then allow the armies to sort of pass you. You may be biting off a little more than you can chew with.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, so sorry. What did you draw these lines?
I did, yeah.
Okay,
so coming
which
off over the mountains.
Way are they traveling? Because I thought they were kind of like going through the woods like that.
They're coming down off the peaks in various forms like this.
Okay.
But the armies are literally cutting off their passage with this. Okay. You would assume, and to like kind of speed things along,
that way?
What you would have to do is to essentially meet the mages on the mountain, not in the forest. If you let them come down off the mountain, it's already too late, is what you think.
Okay.
Essentially, you have to act now or don't.
Yeah, it's just in order to justify acting now, I feel like we need a reasonable plan, and I don't know if we have the resources for that.
I mean, we do. We would just have to lose people in the field, basically.
No.
And for potentially less than 100 giants, maybe not worth it. But still, at the same time, like...
These giants are being used to unknown purpose, so...
I mean, I'd like
do you
to
think
go
it's valuable or not?
I just don't know what all we have. If only I had a wheelbarrow and a... No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, Zin can basically do nothing unless he's in the midst of...
Yeah.
So... Like, he can speak giant, but it's not really a situation where, like, speaking to the giants seems like it's going to solve anything.
They're all in panic already.
Well, as evidence,
that's kind of my
the city is in panic, and you guys are still
a-
doing something, but
Make a strike team kind of land behind the mages and at least have them have to do like an about face to kind of deal with us, and then do like a retreat or something to let the giants get away. That's kind of my idea.
I think we would definitely, like, lose the airship, though, if we did that. Because,
Yeah,
like,
but-
300 mages with all fireballs could just, like... oh, like, our ship is doomed before it even lands.
Well, we get
Now
300
this-
mages and just have them all prepare counterspell.
now this is one of those things where it's the heroic play and the sacrifice comes into play, right? I'll say you guys have 2 additional transport airships, right? If you want, because like your ship by itself cannot carry a number of troops, numbering in the hundreds, right? I will say with 3 airships, including your own, you could have
Could we
let's say 200 total.
could we
Whoa.
get just like 50
Whoa.
archers or something and just have them stand on the deck and just kind of do circles and have them shoot arrows down at them?
You could try. You don't know the efficacy of it, but yeah, you could try.
Yeah, but I mean, it might be enough to, again, act as a distraction. That's kind of more my thing. Not necessarily defeat them, but the objective is to, for me,
Carry them.
in my mind, is to get them off the giants. And allow the giants to escape. And then,
We do have some proficient archers amongst our.
well,
ranks.
so...
Yeah.
I know I've
Again.
used my...
Tying up your archers will
Inspiration
remove you
point.
guys from doing any sort of other preparation in the city.
Sure.
So,
Fuck.
if there's
But-
any other things you want to do, that you have to keep in mind.
Damn. Okay. Well then.
But I want to move this along. You guys got to decide something now.
No, that's my
I like-
suggestion.
Yeah, I like playing the
but
arrows from above.
I'll let the group decide.
I think the arrows from above plan is probably the best one we have because I don't want to lose the airship.
Yeah, and
It's
just
a
kind of
great thing.
harry them.
And harry them and hope for the best. Maybe
Yep.
if we go in a way that's outside of the range of most spells, we could probably like.
Yeah, because I mean, like if we get a bunch of dudes with the long bows, I think we can outrange a lot of stuff.
So,
Not
Say
too
if
meta,
if
but-
you're going to send a contingent of archers out to attempt to harry the mages, how of the two airships you have available or your own, how many people are you sending? Are you going to send all the airships? One of them? None of them? Are you going to go yourselves, or are you just going to send a bunch of rangers and hope to thin their numbers?
I guess Wolf would go.
Trixie will go.
Zoom will go in case any talking is required. And maybe if they send flying creatures up to us, he can do shit about it.
One or two airships worth of people. Or three. Are you going to send a whole bunch of... Are you going to utilize all your air options and send people out, or what?
We should just take one.
I think, yeah, just one probably.
Just one. All right.
All right.
And the one that's not being fit for napalm, whatever shit we're doing on it.
Oh, no,
Not napalm anymore, it's
We can't.
C4.
Yeah, it's C4 now.
P4. P4.
That one.
Be a thing, guys.
Zoom's like, whatever you fucking doing with that thing.
Very well.
Anybody else want to come along on the suicide mission?
Sylvia will stay in the city with her P4.
Okay.
Yes, it's a thing.
Not
Victory.
the Sky Dancer.
Yes.
Not actually the Sky Dancer, but
Ground waltzer. Well, I'm a kaiju now.
Oh, you're huge. You're as big as a mountain.
That's a huge bitch.
That's huge.
the three of you are out there. Okay. Let's talk Windwalk for a moment. 8 hours, 300 feet. Bill, haven't you done this math already? Or
Yeah, it was like equivalent of going on the freeway, basically. I think it was like 68 miles per hour or something.
Damn.
Yeah, it's even in my Google search history still. How fast is Windwalk in miles per hour? It's it's a speed of 30 miles per hour. So if I'm dashing, which I am, that's 60 miles per hour. Or at 8 hours per day translates to 240 miles in a day.
Damn.
oh wow. Okay.
A lot of flying.
240 miles in a day.
Yeah, according to this thread from the Critical Role subreddit, if they're 600 feet dashing, they're going roughly 100 feet per round, or per second, 100 feet per second, and which is a rate of 68.18 miles per hour.
Okay. Hang on. Let me think about this real quick, because the scale of the map itself is not.
It's only 40 feet away.
Yeah.
Wow.
The scale of the map
That's pretty
is,
close.
is going to skew things a little bit. If 1 square equaled 100 miles, that would be insane.
Yeah, that would be
Like this would be half the distance from San Diego to San Francisco.
Hmm.
Damn.
That would be half of California right there.
Yeah.
So that's not what I had in mind when I did this. So let me think about this a little bit.
100 miles. Oh yeah, that is huge.
That's a lot, right? Like Hinterwood to Quiltier would essentially be San Diego to San Francisco. And this entire map would be probably larger than the United States. Or not the whole United States. Texas would probably be like this whole thing over here. But
This is Texas over here.
that is not canon. That's Texas.
Novella?
Which one's Texas?
I
missed it.
I will also ask, are you stopping to rest? Or are you going to
I mean, the spell-
recast Windwalk?
Yeah, I mean, I only have one spell slot a day for this because it's a 6th level spell. So it would just be like 8 hours of travel, however far I can get with that. I mean, I was hoping I could reach the flotilla in one cast of it, and then get back the following, like rest there in the flotilla, like do that, and then fly back the next day. Would be ideal.
Well, no. Honestly, that is not going to happen. As you launch yourself out and over into the
Oh wait, well I
into
do have
the-
my 7th level spell that I could use on it too, so I could do 2 a day. And I mean, I am taking exhaustion and using my heroic point or whatever, so I don't know what else I would need.
well, if you use your 7th level spell, that's different. But
The idea is I wanted to get there at least in 1 day, hopefully, if that's possible.
well, anything is possible if the resources are spent. I will say,
Options are optional.
where is the thing here? I wanted to look up real quick. Okay. You know, how long does find the path, or were you using find the path or locate spell?
Well, I think I was using Find the Path for getting to what's his name.
Okay.
I was using a combo of Find the Path and Windwalk.
How long does find the path last?
Good question. It lasts up to 1 day.
Oh, wow.
Pretty
Longer
good.
shot.
Are you going to use your 7th spell or not?
Yeah, I think I actually have to if I'm doing both. What I would probably do actually then, I don't know if this is feasible. Because we know the general direction because I scried on him.
Mhm.
I could do just 1 day, not do Find the Path, and just yoink as far as I could rest, and then the
Yoink.
following day. No, but then that fucks us up. Yeah, I have to do Find the Path and at the same and Windwalk at the same time.
And to use both required both your 6th and 7th level spell.
Yeah, because Find the Path is a 6th level spell, and then I could do Windwalk with my 7th level spell.
Sure.
But then how many? Yeah, because I only have one of each. And I'm not a sorcerer.
I will remind you, Ross, that you have a heroic inspiration to use. If you can sell me on it, maybe I'll find a little bit of flexibility in my calloused, cold heart.
Well, I don't have any like travel.
The both of you suddenly feel that this trip is taking longer, and perhaps the siege may even start before you're able to get to the prince and start bringing him back.
You have like that thingy, that MacGuffin thingy, right?
How dare you
The
use my plot points and call them MacGuffins?
That's what you've been reduced to.
That's like the pot
That's
calling
all
the
I
kettle
am,
black.
some novel writer writing fantasy smut for old ladies.
the
You do have the amulet that
Amulet.
Shades of Amulet.
the wizard Kronash gave you
yes.
that allowed you to communicate or send a distress signal to the prince, at least.
Did we like follow the signal? Like an arcane signal or something?
We could use the inspiration to contact the prince with the amulet. Let him know we're on the way, but we need his assistance to come our way.
Honestly, though,
Yeah.
that's a more reasonable ask than what I was expecting.
Okay.
Meet us in the middle.
I figured that was
Go ahead and roll a.
Didn't we actually come up with some? We came up with a rendezvous point or something, right? Didn't we message him that? I thought we had done that.
We might have.
I don't think you did.
We said like
Don't
meet
remember.
us here or something. I can't remember if I had.
Yeah, I thought the meeting point was Whiltier. Like he's like, I'm on the way to Whiltier, and you're like, we need you now. Was the point of the Windwalk. So,
Yeah.
go.
That makes sense.
Both of you, you can go ahead and roll either history, like just like an intelligence roll, essentially history, or a. I would allow an insight at a higher DC.
Oh,
Sounds like a guy who makes MacGuffins.
You sound like a guy who's about to fall asleep drunk.
It's no difference to me,
Look,
honestly.
I'm all out, and
Oh fuck!
oh shit.
about that time.
+5.
I'll remind you, regular inspiration exists.
I will use it.
I don't have it.
I have it. I'm using it.
Do it, Scud. Save us.
Oh, much better.
Brilliant. Oh. You think that this idea has merit because he's flying with a flotilla.
Oh,
It does merit.
Lost
He's
you.
flying
I
with
broke
the
out.
flotilla.
yeah.
Flying with the flotilla.
Suspense
He's
is
flying with a
terrible.
flotilla, and you
Yeah.
assume that not all ships are made the same. Some that are larger and carry, or like passenger vessels carry troops or whatever, may fly slower than others. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My entire foundry just decided to reload all on its own. I didn't even have to refresh that. If he were to leave the flotilla behind to meet you halfway, or to speed himself along, that could be a thing.
Okay.
But it may be a heroic ask to have him leave his troops behind to meet you
I mean, that's essentially what we're asking you to do anyway. Is the whole point of this mission. So,
Yeah. I guess in my message, I would try to inspire him, like how we have a group of, like an army back at our, whatever it's called, the camp or wherever we're at. We need him for to inspire, rally the troops.
Do you say anything specific in your ask?
I'll mention my race and how fellow Dragonborn and
Listen, dog. From one dragon
bro.
I'm a bro, dude.
I'm a bro, dude. To the prince.
I'm a dude, bro.
Oh, bro, I'm a dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a bro.
Yeah. No, I just basically like Dragonborn to Dragonborn, and like I've followed him my whole life. Like I'm a fan.
Oh.
it's like, will you sign this?
Tears off his armor.
I'll mention Bahamut.
Baphomet.
I know.
Yeah, like, what's it called?
That's a
Very
very
That's different.
We're gonna have words.
Bahamut. Yeah, and
Awareness was
hopefully-
the word.
like yeah. So be like, yes, under Bahamut. Please lend us a hand.
Spend your heroic inspiration and roll a
Yes, sir.
persuasion check with advantage, please.
Okay.
Oh,
Huzzah.
hot damn.
There's my
A
rolls.
natural 19.
You the amulet does not allow for like the message spell per se, but as you speak to it and clasp it to you, as you guys like take a break, you can feel the warmth of affirmation, and you know that your message has been received. Now, this isn't his exact position, but he's out in this direction.
Oh, damn.
Ah.
So, we'll come back to you.
Alright.
The day ends.
He's out there.
He's right over there, guys. That also means
Turn
that,
away.
that also means that the armies are 5 feet away. They're here already.
Ah!
Oh, shit.
They've gone within the minimum range of trebuchet. They're already here. They're climbing the walls. They're inside the city.
Look up right in a minute.
Listen, I can level you guys up anytime.
If I level up, do I get another 6-level spell slot? Let me double check.
This could be viable.
Listen, we're talking about hypotheticals. You get nothing.
Hypothetically, have another 6-level spell.
You guys, you, Scud, and River, travel your full day, but see no sign of the prince, and find an island to land upon for a jaunt and a rest. Your day's travel is done. There are no more spells left to carry you forward. You only hope that the message you sent is received, and that the prince is on his way to meet you.
I mean, granted, that's where he was yesterday, right?
He's traveling toward you. That's true. Damn thing keeps going away every time it refreshes. Dawn of the final day, before the army's approaches, meets you. You can see smoke and fires burning along the forest line. And you presume they'll be here by nightfall. Are there any last minute things you wish to do? Very well. Then I will go over a few things I wish to do.
Ooh. Okay.
River, roll an insight check for me.
Ooh.
22.
Your brother is acting oddly. Your brother Cloud spends the night after your breakneck journey, staring up at the sky, his eye burning a fiery red. The ruby that replaced his once hazel eye has never shone quite like this before. And as you stare up into the sky, you see that dancing, flickering red skitter across the sky once more. It's a regular pattern, not an orbit, but to move. It moves in a pattern of its own. But as you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, walk up to Cloud and I like put a hand on his shoulder, and I say, "Brother, do you see that?"
He starts.
Or
As
rather,
you
I say,
this.
"What do you see?"
He says, "I've seen it before, but I know not what it is."
It is quite beautiful, is it not?
Yes, it's entrancing.
Can I religion check this thing? Does it seem to be of Celestian?
I would allow
Like with
religion
my-
or arcana, your choice.
With my star map? I think it's the same for me.
Your what?
I have a... What is it fucking called? It's the star map. It's one of my features as a celestial...
Where you turn into a constellation? That one?
Yeah, it's the one. It's basically one of the features of Circle of Stars. It gives me guiding bolt and guidance, and for River, it like is like a tattoos of like constellations and stuff on his body.
I would say then gives you guiding bolt and guidance. I would allow a religion. I would allow a religion at advantage at a higher DC or an arcana, like sort of like a astrology check instead, more mechanical.
Okay. I mean, they're the same bonus for me either way.
Okay. I was just gonna say arcana is a lower DC. So
okay, I think it would probably be more arcana if it's more like astrology, because this is totally River's an astrology bitch.
well, you were saying that it gave you guidance and guiding bolt and things like that. That sounds more religion to me. So that's why I was
then I will
throwing
do
advantage on that one.
religion, and I shall guide myself as well.
Ah,
I shall use my guidance.
seems appropriate.
Use.
Alright, and plus that.
Hey,
17.
take that.
There are several stars that glow red in the sky. This one behaves not like a star, nor it flickers. So stars have a tendency to flicker versus planets have a tendency to stay solid in the night sky. This star fades and blinks out of its existence and also seems to like waver, like it's constantly moving. Looks like a bug that's like hovering in front of your eye, but this one is way, way off. Its brightness seems to increase and decrease at intervals, almost as though it's like closer and then further away. With a 17, its nature eludes you.
Strange. What do you make of it, brother?
Says, I think he sort of just fades off.
Nope.
And there he
Great
goes.
timing.
And he faded out.
Gone.
And he disconnects from the Discord call.
Ah, he's back.
Welcome back, Cloud.
Have you returned with answers?
I just go, hello, Cloud. Cloud. Or Odasses to Cloud.
Ground control to Major Tom.
You get in his face to sort of like get his attention. And it's only then you notice that he has a knife in his hand.
Ooh, what the?
What?
He doesn't seem to take in any sort of notice of you yet.
Cloud, what are you doing with the knife, Cloud?
Gonna address the problem head on, huh?
What's a knife?
It was a straight shooter.
You hear a voice from behind you. It comes across as a faint whisper, like a warm wind coming from across an infinite distance. One you're familiar with, but haven't heard in some time. It says, I see his effect has already breached your brother.
Without turning, I just say, I'm like looking straight at Cloud, and I just say, whose?
Adar's.
That fucking Adar.
Yes, indeed.
Can I cast? I will do. Let's see. I will cast Sleep to start. And I'll do it at 5th level. Just to put Cloud to rest.
You feel the expanse of thousands of miles of void coming from behind you, empowering as you not only put him to sleep, you kill him.
Sleep forever.
where the sleep spell is something of a struggle, as like your magic has to overwhelm someone else's or someone's being. This now comes quickly and easily, as though you barely have to think it and push the magic forward before he's unconscious.
And I'll just do like a catch him sort of thing. And like hopefully if he's not clutching a knife or anything, I'll just like kick it away.
The knife just falls limp in his hands.
Okay.
Good.
I just catch him and I'll like touch his head as well. And I'll just cast I only have Lesser Restoration prepared today, I guess. So I'll just cast a Lesser Restoration and also a Dispel Magic.
Again, in the presence of whomever is behind you, these spells that may have a lesser effect, you feel a little more confident might do something.
Yeah, so I just like...
To what end and for how long, it's unclear.
I just say, feeling this presence behind me, and full of determination, I just cast these things, and I'll just let him get rest for the night, and hopefully whatever this influence does, unconsciousness will block whatever connection is happening. But also keeping an eye out on him, and just watching if his eye opens at any point.
Is one eye?
Yeah. Either one.
Okay.
Or both.
As you lay him down and cast your magics, your wards over him, you feel that presence move from beside you to stand over Cloud. And in this night, I don't know, Scud, I don't know where you're at this point, but I don't know if you've already gone to rest or not, but for you, River, you just see like an inky void in the shape of a person step into your field of view and stand over Cloud.
I look up. Do I see my boy?
I think you're technically his boy, but him. You see,
But I stay like kneeled, but I'll like look up as I do.
he sort of like wavers in and out, like his shape seems to like sway, almost as though like the breeze would just take him away at a moment. And as you look at his feet in reverence, you can see the stars of infinite galaxies shining at his feet.
And we're getting Celestian feet pigs.
Anything more is going to cost you.
Sniffer.
He says, it seems the hungering star has taken notice of our reunion.
Ooh, okay.
I have long respected Hadar's inclination to wander, yet he has erred by claiming what is mine. You remain my faithful and my chosen. But Hadar's influence has swayed. It's caused others to stray.
River just kind of looks down at his brother and just says, "What can we do to stop it?"
Sorry, looking through some artwork. He says, come on, scroll. Can you scroll, please? No? We're just going to freeze up? Okay, cool. He says, already my influence wanes. Yeah, my chosen falling to his corruption and hunger. You must root out his corruption where it finds. Already it approaches upon your city, on your Huiltir. My corrupted chosen march upon your city.
There are the chosen amongst their ranks.
Gale and Snow march among them, but they are long past my reach. And you know Gale and Snow to possess were there at the ritual to gain 2 of the eyes. Gale to take the amethyst, and Snow to fire. We can no longer count them among my chosen.
River just kind of like closes his fist and it's like shaking. And he'll like stand up and just say, Would you have me smite them? Or attempt a restoration?
You must do what you think is best. Your brother sought you out. Kill you? But only his love for you prevented him from doing it. Only one remains loyal to me. Well, two. Hale took her diamond and went long over the mountains past Nathlond. But you are the only one left who can do anything here.
I just look up to him with a look of resolve and just say, my heart wanders.
As it should.
And I just say, it is an honor to see you. Say, could you take my brother away from here? Away from Hadar's influence, for now.
I could, but he might remain changed. You do not walk the normal paths. And I walk between the dark spaces of the stars, where evil lurks.
And we're just like, oh, he's so cool.
Yes!
We're just like, damn it. He's good. River just says, he'll say, my brother too wanders. Say, but I believe he will return stronger.
He
He
moves.
too walks in the shadow. But for it, I will see him return. A glorious... what's the right word?
Penis.
Glorious penis for the god. And I'll say, I shall see him return. A dawn of Celestian in him.
Cannot make his choices for him, but I can set him upon a path. And he waves his hand, and like an inky cloak, you now see attached to his like wrist, and he just envelops him gently, and he's just covered in a void and gone when Celestian raises his hands once more.
And I
He
just
says,
say, thank you.
he may yet be worse. Do not thank me. But I must go and walk as I am bid.
And I just turn my head down and kind of return to like a kneeling position. And just
I
say,
warn thee. I warn thee twice. Once, beware that which lurks in the darkness between the stars, for it is a greater evil than Hadar himself. And two, the gods are rife and in turmoil. These lands are not safe. and he takes what you see, like you just see his legs step forward, and he just sort of vanishes and dissipates before you.
And I just say, may our wanderings find us together again someday.
You get no response. But Scud, you saw the whole fucking thing and you're just like,
What the hell was that?
This is my bro, Celestian. No big deal. He's
Oh,
pretty
it's
cool.
okay, I get
He's
it.
pretty cool.
I have my bro Oswin, I get it.
Mhm. I was like, your husband for you. He was right there. I'd heard him
That
before,
was-
but never like right there.
That's crazy, man.
I say he'll keep my brother safe. Hopefully, or at least sustained. But we must turn our eyes to Wiltia.
He sounded
Okay.
just.
there's so much more I want to get through, so bear with me for 15, 30 more minutes. Unless you guys have to quit now. But I'm wrapping up.
I'm gonna have to call it.
Damn it!
Too long. I'm sorry. I have to.
Watch the last bits of recording. I don't need you.
Excellent.
Good night. I'm good for the
Night,
wrap up.
boys.
Have a good night, Josh.
Night,
I was
Josh.
on mute.
Good night, boys. I'll talk to you later.
Love you, buddy.
See you.
Bye.
Love you.
Night, Baba.
Okay. I think we've done enough prep. If you guys aren't, you guys have shuttled off your archers for giants, and I think it's time we get moving. Preparation continues, and the destination's been set. The pace has been set. The city falls into a rhythm of preparation of war. People move. The citizens are now evacuating in earnest. Okay, we got the rivers thing. Frost giants, we got stragglers, defenses. Okay, good. Here we go. It's at sunset of the final day when you start seeing signs of the burning trees encroaching upon the city line. Just outside of the range of trebuchet, the armies step forth from the trees. Scores of thousands of humanoids, standing robed or armored, just on the edge of the tree line, and begin setting up camps and patrols. Their armies have arrived, but they look as though they are not making any sort of effort to hurry along the assault. I would like the three people, or the two archers, Trixie and Wolf, to roll d20s for me.
Alright. No modifiers, just straight roll?
Um,
Or is this like a
yeah,
check?
just straight rolls. Just straight rolls.
Okay.
This is more of a percentile sort of
damn.
thing.
I guess my roll didn't go through for some
What did it
reason.
say on D&D Beyond?
16.
Perfect. You spend your time, Wolf, you, exhausted, your joints and mechanics, bending a little slower in the morn as you gather up as many rangers as you can and boarding one of the transport ships that can take you slowly over the Grey Peaks. You rain arrow after arrow and bundle after bundle down upon them. Your initial assaults covered by clouds, you take them by surprise. You reckon you can get a score of them before shields start to raise, and they started retaliating over long distances. The warnings of others were to keep you out of spellfire are well heeded. And this ship, much slower than the Skydancer, less mobile, requires a little more grace and a little more finesse than the Skydancer's zippy entry and exit. From your height, it's hard to tell how many you get, but when you leave and as the scores of mages start running down the mountains in flight, I'll say, dozens of bodies are left behind. Given your vantage point and the gravity of taking arrows, long range is less important, and you continue to fire until your ammunition is depleted. It's unclear if you were able to buy the giants any time, but that many dead mages is still a win in your book. For the two of you, is there anything else you would like to do or anything you need while the scene is on that ship?
On the way back, I guess, just kind of keep an eye out for like traces of the giants, like if they're, leaving tracks or like breaking down trees or something, Any
Both
sort
of you,
things like that.
both of you can roll perception checks.
Why did it? Okay. So I'm gonna.
You're going to?
Oh, sorry. No, it rolled twice again on perception, so I'm just gonna click it again just to see. Okay, that's weird. Okay.
That is weird. With an 18 and a 26, Wolf, you can't see. Wolf, you see a moment of hesitation in the fleeing giants. You see their upturned faces, and you see them pointing up toward your airship as you begin raining down arrows. But as the mages drive forth, Trixie, you can see that as the mages kind of collide with the giants, more will likely end up dead than they intended. For good or for ill, giants are dying. And the rest that flee will meet with the army regardless. But a score less alive than previously.
So we were able to save some of the giants?
No.
Oh.
One way or another, they either die or are captured by the armies, but it's unclear to you whether it's a mercy or not.
Do you got your heroic thing? Can you?
Are
do
we able
something?
to? Are we able to see this happening? Like them getting captured and whatnot.
You are there.
Well then, Trixie's a realist. She tells all of them, for the mercy of the frost giants and for them not to be used against us, to just rain hellfire across the land, kill everything as much as possible, all the giants, and get out. Mercy kill them so they're not used by other people.
Roll a persuasion check, and if you want to use your heroic action, you can give yourself advantage for it.
I'm not good at persuasion, but yeah, I will. I'll take that. I'm trying to decide. I'm like, I think 22 should be enough to persuade them.
And whatever remains of your ammunition, you rain down on the giants and the rangers with you. The Whiltier rangers have no love for the giants, and they have limited exposure, but it's not uncommon for the two to clash as the rangers move toward the roots of the mountain and the giants wander down from their peaks. All too happy they are to rain down more arrows and what remains of your ammunition upon them.
Whatever
Some
few
die.
wizards. I tell them, whatever few wizards they had, they're in the back, and they're the strongest. These ones in the front were nothing. Just capture the giants, move them to where they needed to, and then they were going to be used against us. Better off taking them out with the front lines as much as possible. Let's just get home, get you guys some rest. We have some good fighting coming ahead.
And you do. You know not all giants will be dead, and not all the mages either, but numbers thinned. And no losses, at least on your side. That's to count for something. The ship has sustained a moderate amount of surface damage, but nothing that can't be repaired in the remaining day. But you certainly expect that more is on the way. As night falls, the screams begin. Not content just to sacrifice their prisoners, it appears that the cultists are torturing them as well. It seems there's a revelry going on, a last feast and banquet in celebration for the violence to come and the pain they're exhibiting on their prisoners right now. And their screams fill the air to the horrified, the horrified ears of the remaining warriors and citizens. Evacuation continues. It's a slow and arduous process, and unfortunately, it seems as though there's just not enough time to get everyone out. And that to defend the city or to defend the civilians may become a straining point in the battle to come. Now, everyone with a passive perception, I keep closing the campaign page because I'm a fucking idiot. You know what? Fuck it. Sound off. Who's got a passive perception of 20 or higher?
Me. Sylvia.
Trixie.
I think Bud does.
Yeah, Bud, Trixie, Sylvia. Mine's a 22.
River's got a 20,
24 for
but I'm not there.
Sylvia.
You are not there. You all, except for you, River, see so in the highest vantage points of Whiltier, in the towers and watch points, you can see the coast a ways off. You can see the snaking line of civilians all traveling in that direction, off in the distance. And you can see a aurora of lights coming from the waters and the coast. I'll open the floor. Does anybody want to do or say anything at this point?
Are we together seeing this light?
You can be together, or you can be on your own. It's up to you guys.
You said it's coming from
The coast,
the
to the
the
south.
coast.
Like the coast, like southeast of us, or north, or southwest of us? Just south.
Southeast.
Southeast. So like near the port, basically.
Out in the waters. Not like on the land or in the air. It's coming from the water itself.
Okay.
If I mean, I would say because the battle's drawn closer, we'd probably be all rallying together at this point.
Yeah.
Seeing, you said it's just glowing? Like there's a glow along the coast?
Like a rainbow of lights coming out of the water.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. I look over to Sylvia
Hmm.
and I'm just like, anytime we were over the water or near it or something bad would happen. This is giving me that feeling. The same thing my husband would say also. Anytime they were near the water, something bad would happen.
Like something bad, or some creature? What is this?
I would have to say
Omen.
all of the above. I don't like the looks of those lights. And with just everything that's going on, it would be par for the course that something would come out the water to try to kill us too. Fighting on two fronts and all that.
Sounds like more than two at this point.
Possibly. But, it's not anything we're not accustomed to, I guess.
When these things happened before, did you stay and fight, or?
Well, when you get stuck with a party, you tend to stay and fight if that's the group consensus. And if I had to go off of what my husband would say, that was always the group consensus.
And so it was. Except for Wilkins.
I'm not there.
Vulcan may have had
Because
the
you
right
ran.
idea.
We might need to send some type of scouting party to be able to see what's going on out that way and be able to... I don't think we can prepare for anything that's coming out of the water, but if some of us know, we might be able to disengage from one fight just so we can partially defend for another.
From what you're mentioning, this thing that comes out of the water, it has no allies. Yes? It fights on all fronts.
But if we get wiped out in its wake being in the middle, it doesn't matter what fronts it fights on, if it takes us out first.
Yeah. You have to break a few party rules then if we're looking to get out of this alive then.
I'm gonna go get a small party of rangers and send them out that way.
Right.
And Trixie walks away to go find a party to go find a ranger party to send them out to see what's going on along the coast.
Very good. All right. Okay. River, we've taken care of you. So at this point, everyone is preparing for these are final preparations. Is there Anything you would like to do or say before battle begins?
Where's the distance-wise army in relation to the ballistas?
Just out of range.
Just out of range. Okay.
They're
So
just
if they
outside-
advance.
They're just outside the tree line, but knowing their number, the second that they start making any sort of move or in the direction of the city, they'll be well within range.
Okay.
Samaville.
Yep.
You spent the majority of the day with Kazdae, while Bud makes his speeches and whips up his religious fervor. Kaz, now in the quiet of this night before battle, sits on the ramparts. His aura and his presence, more of a present thing to you these days. As you approach, you can feel it accept you and ignore you. But there's always like the threat and fear that he could turn on you. And as you watch him looking out over the armies, you can feel that malaise, that not quite a depression, but that fear just coalescing around him. And he's holding his helmet. He's, presuming himself alone. He's just holding his helmet, and you just see the widest grin on his face. His leg bounces. He's jittery and he's anxious.
Well, shit. Everyone else is preoccupied.
God damn it, what do I have to do with this shit? My friend, you're in a good mood.
This is everything. Everything I swore. We conquer them or they conquer us. This is it.
And after we conquer them, what then?
Smash them to dust. All who remain fear us for all eternity.
That's weird. Is there something else going on with him besides just his inborn corruption shit?
Roll an insight check.
Oh, 17.
You have a high insight.
Dude.
Holy shit. Say that something is going on with him. There's always something going on with him, for one reason or another. You can see that his the symbol on his neck and the eye on his fist glow. Strangely, he seems less corrupt today than he has in all days past since you've met him. You can only assume he's filled with divine purpose at this.
Okay, and I'll say...
You've never heard his oaths before. You've only really heard about the bride, and you knew, having traveled with him, that there was some sort of conflict between bride and helm. But today, it doesn't seem to be bride driving as the driving force. What were you going to say?
Okay. Given that information, I'll say...
I never thought Helm would be one for warmongering.
War stands at our doorstep. It's not warmongering.
It is if you relish in it.
Conquer another force. Bring them to heel. In the name of justice and safety of others. I swore my oaths long ago. To defend the meek. The strong shall stand atop them. I never used that force for ill. And today I get to use it for good. And for that I relish. And I celebrate.
It's worth celebrating. Just remember that not all of the people in these cults mean evil. Some of them are just civilians led astray.
He rises up and he stands and he's not jubilant. And he's not as dour as he has been in the past, but he just says, it is a good reminder. Watch your flank. Because last I remember, a town called Ovella, once part of the land and right next to Whiltir, second it broke away, all of the peoples turned on one another until we put boot to neck. You watch your back, Somerville, of the burgeoning god. Now watch your front.
You said you'll watch my front?
I'm capable of watching my front, but I will take care of you if you take care of me. That being said, if we find you me, you leave him for me.
He says, no promises. But I can crush this in my iron fist now. I'm going to do it.
Then I'll just have to beat you to him.
We'll see about that.
Can I put a hand on your shoulder before walking away?
He holds out a
Can I do one of
hand
those?
for
Yeah.
me first.
Oh yeah. I'll do one of the Roman handshakes with you. My big meaty claws, like totally encompassing your forearm. No.
He's not the strongest person you've ever met. By any stretch. There's will and purpose and resolve, and he doesn't sway as you crush his arm in your grip. He says, I wish you good fortune in this battle to come, Somerville.
Yeah, you feel a little radiant energy pulsing through his fingers.
Should death take me, I will welcome it. As long as I finish what I started.
By bride and by helm, we shall see it done.
For the thunder.
For the thunder. He
Nods in
dons his
agreement.
helmet, and you guys part ways.
Cool.
It's in the pre-dawn light when the first inklings that the battle has begun even takes place. The screaming, the torture, the pain of all the prisoners stops. And their sort of lingering wail seems to just encompass the camp of the oncoming cultists. In the pale light, you can almost see their spirits gathering and coalescing around them like a storm. You can see the rank and file of soldiers lining 5 to 8 foot gaps between each rank as they start marching forward. You see figures floating above them. More limbs than necessary, sort of undulating as they float forward. Between those ranks, four-legged creatures start running in the direction of Wiltir. At this point, you have all taken a long rest. You're more than ready to receive them. Trebuchets they're still beyond arrow range. And you all feel a rumble beneath your feet. Let me find them.
It's okay though, because we got trebuchets and they're the superior siege weapon.
Yeah, they're fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
that's all we
are.
need.
They're okay.
Indeed they are.
It's a good weapon. OP.
Where'd I put these fuckers? I uploaded all of them. Where'd they go?
There's multiple, it seems. Hmm.
I uploaded them last week. Where'd they go? This is all very dramatic while I scroll through a bunch of directories trying to find them.
Hold on.
It's the silent
On board.
anticipation.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
God.
Sorry if I blew out anybody's eardrums with that.
It's so irritating. Okay, hang on.
So on the opposite end of the mood.
We are going to improvise. Hang on. Thought I had them ready. I guess I don't. Image. I know I've uploaded the assets, so let's go in here. Oh, I love it. This is so great. Trying to have to, like, fucking go through everything and find them.
Where is this coming from? The south?
You'll see in a second, if I can get this going.
Ooh.
That's not the one I wanted, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can just... Can I pull this out? Nope. Hey, beep, 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 beep.
Waha!
Welcome.
Welcome back.
Sorry, you only missed me struggling with some shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, he didn't have enough fiber. It was very painful to listen to. Just all the constipation.
Oh my god.
Okay. Not to scale, because the map is not on a grid scale. Anyway, you see these worm-like figures bursting out of the ground, preceding
Oh,
the
jeebus.
armies. These centipede-like demons
Oh, what the fuck?
skittering and sprawling as around them pits of acid and tunnels erupt within the fertile farmland surrounding Hwiltir, and from them start pouring countless sin-born demons,
Oh,
four-legged, moving on clawed hands. They look almost simian in nature, as they have these long claw-like protrusions over their arms, but they move with a fast gait in the direction of the city. I will show them to you next time, once I get my shit together. But these two worms appear, and the tunnels around them pour out with countless creatures to begin the battle. The humanoid armies and mages following in behind them. That's where we're gonna end tonight.
Ew.
Nice.
Gross.
We come to it at last. And finally.
Alright.
Very good.
I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
I was trying to make it a little more
Fight.
personal
Fight.
this time because it's
Fight.
been so long since I've heard a little bit of roleplay. So
Are we back next week on this? Or?
we will be back next week in the absence of Tyler, I'm afraid. But I will move us forward through this for the next 2 weeks,
Gotcha.
at least.
Boy.
Perfect.
We're back next
Excited
Monday,
to do
Monday,
so.
and we'll see what happens next.
Blood for the blood.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Skulls for the skull throne.
Violence. War. Beckons.
Tyler, I will attempt to let you know what is coming, since you'll be gone, and if you're able to respond by phone, great. If you can't, like, not in the moment, but we'll talk in preparation.
Drop everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just tell me what you think. If I can do anything in advance for preparation, or I don't know. Yeah, just let me know. If I can, I'll message you while on the trip too, if it works.
If possible. If
Yeah.
not, don't worry about it. Enjoy your vacation. But
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I imagine grapple, punch, lightning punch.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah,
Don't forget, he has
Pretty
holy
much.
punches now. He punches holes in people.
I
Yeah,
get
like-
big when I rage. Remember?
yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
I remember.
All right, guys. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for playing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
For
Thank
DM
you.
and
Thank
that.
you. Monster.
Thank you,
Thank
Matt.
you.
Thank you.
And we'll
Coming
pick up
back
Take care, y'all.
next week.
Take it easy, guys.
Buddies.
Bye, guys.